The party continues and no one's fired yet. Welcome back. It's Chris Puckett, your host, alongside DDK and Jason Kaplan, three of the oldest people in esports. But we still got a job. Thanks to the community and thanks to Intel. Thank you all for watching Deadlock and the best teams from EU. Jason Kaplan, let's start with the fact that we have seen this matchup over and over and over again. They've gone under different names, but Buff Enjoyers have been the top dog since I've joined the night shift. Why are they our reigning champs right now?
Well, they're the best team in Deadlock, I would have to say. I mean, even with the addition of Hoot, I feel like they did become even better. They've kind of set the trends when it comes to meta. They've been one of the most versatile teams out there. When it comes to Deadlock, they have one of the deepest hero pools across the board. And I think they're also some pretty decent innovators. Like, for instance, the Science Wave last week that we discussed is definitely a huge item, as well as Veil Walker.
Now, in Abraham's...
big thing.
Absolutely. So real quick, what is the Veil Walker for anyone who doesn't play the game often or maybe tuning in from a different stream? What is this thing and why is it spiked up in popularity?
It does this. Wow. You can't see me.
You can get rid of Kaplan? Any character.
I wonder everyone's getting it.
Wow. Understood.
I kind of set myself up for that one, didn't I? So
Yeah,
it gives you stealth, first of all, right? That's a side thing of it. It's not necessarily one of the biggest things about it, though it is a very massive part of it. You can use it in combat, which like Fortitude couldn't, and it was used as one of the ways to heal up and have some longevity in the game without having to go back to base. It also gives you health. Like, it heals you when you go into one of the veils, which is very helpful, especially for a lower HP target where Fortitude takes a lot longer to heal you. And it gives you some additional stats on top of that. So it's kind of like a new and improved Fortitude for a lot of those brawlers. It does give you the ability to close that distance without being seen and make you very hard to figure out where you are on the map.
So an old item that was super popular fell out of meta, now back in the meta, DDK?
It's been changed a lot compared to its original form, where it used to give you barriers and all sorts. But one extra thing I wanted to add on with what you said, Jason, in terms of how it's different to Fortitude or more practical, is that with Fortitude you have to be out of combat for like over 10 seconds for it to start healing you, whereas with the Veil Walker you get the like 150 heal or whatever it is, like in the middle of a fight when you're juking someone, like you'll just be able to pop that heal. And so that is a pretty big advantage that can make the difference between getting a kill or not, winning a fight, actually surviving and escaping, as well as setting up fights. So there's like a lot of like utility to it when you're playing aggressively and you're trying to invade enemy jungles and stuff. So it's actually a really good item when you watch the top players like who know how to abuse it, like work on it, because I think it's the cooldown on it is like really short, like 15 seconds, 12 to 15 seconds, I think is the cooldown on it, something like that. It's really short.
All right, we're going to call it out when we see it in this game. Shout out to ZP, who's been hanging out with us in the chat. He'll be casting the NA battles. We got DDK and Jason Kaplan, though, for your EU final. Let's introduce the team, shall we? The Buff Enjoyers, reigning champs. They should go first, in my opinion, DDK, because this squad, very fun to watch. You got D-Mob, who originally popped off on the Viscous. Had to play a number of different characters. Who has played some Pocket? We've seen some great talent. Obi, will he be using the Icy Boy, or is it going to be a whole lot more Mina and new characters like Billy in action once again, DDK?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think Buff Enjoyers is super fun to watch because they're a team that is, I mean, by definition, kind of ahead of the curve. They are the best team, pretty reliably, and all of these players are really, really amazing. And they've all been doing different things. You know, seen Listic really like mastering Billy a lot. You've seen Hoot actually playing a variety of different heroes. Obviously, can be a mega carry on pretty much anything you put Hoot on. But I've seen him play a lot of really interesting stuff. Like I mentioned, I saw him spamming Doorman games recently, so I kind of like hope there's an outside chance we would somehow see Hoot playing Doorman. I know that was kind of weird, but Zergy is kind of known to play Seven or the kind of like farm heavy character. But I think that's a topic of discussion because I think that character is a little bit less able to farm than he used to be.
I've been watching a lot of Zergy footage, and the man doesn't seem to miss with that trackball. As we take a look at his opposition, who has aim to compete with the Buff Enjoyers' best aim marksman, I should say. Kaplan, is it going to be someone like Taz? Are you looking at ABL, Jamside? Who do you got eyes on for this matchup?
Honestly, I think Zergy is a much better hyper carry than Jamside is if we're comparing like individual players between each other. I think if we're talking about who has the carry potential on Abraham's, similar to what we see out of Zergy, it would have to be together, but only on Shiv or ABL. I think he's fantastic support. Saint's a fantastic support. Saf is also really great at what he does in his role within the team. Tass has really good initiations, but in pure carry potential, it's got to be ABL.
Do they allow the Shiv in this week? That was something that we saw 2 weeks ago dominate for the Abrahams. Didn't see it a lot last week, and they sat on the sideline after a quick beating.
I'm going to say yes, because Shiv doesn't play well. Together can't play well on Shiv without Kelvin. And Buff and Joris showed last week how they can stop the Kelvin. And I think you let them have those 2 picks if you want, because if they do that, it means they're not going to be taking away picks that you want to pick up on your side, like potentially Mina for Obicam again.
There's no need for a Mo 1v1 this time around. As we jump into the draft, our teams are ready. Let's get into it. And first, though, a look at the hero priority. We've got everything from first round bans to first round picked, and of course, your most common banned and picked characters. A lot of picks on Mina. You look at that 7, though. Kelvin seemed to be involved quite a bit with either first round ban or a first round pick. Same thing with Paradox, DDK.
Yeah, and I think, one thing that's immediately noticeable as someone that used to be at the top of that list was Vindicta, who is now like nowhere to be seen. Obviously, these aren't updated with the last match. That's why Calico and wait, who else? That other one. Sinatra?
Yeah.
Sinclair. Oh my God. Jason, maybe you should talk. I can't do it.
Yeah, so Vindicta had completely fallen off, and you're going to see that in a little video once we go to break between the AU and NA matches. But because of the change to the length of her shred, but more importantly, the tether distance, where you could pull people in further away than what you visually could see, she kind of just completely fell off. But then on the other side of that note, Bebop, 6 times picked or banned. He's only banned once, picked 6 or 5 times besides that, had ridiculous impact last week. And I think he was definitely one of the new and improved heroes, even though his buffs weren't that insane, just increased to the range per boon and the damage per boon on his gun. But we saw a lot of like these gun builds, and in particular Goober over in Sneaky Going for North America really made Bebop shine.
I look at GT and I see 4 first round picks. Is that a target ban now moving forward? Because it seems that everybody is putting him in their gameplay. Kaplan, that's directed to you. No?
I say no. I don't know who's directed to. I'm just going to take it. I don't know. He's a very strong hero with just putting out raw damage. And I think that's one of the important parts. And he was also really good at dealing with the likes of Vindicta too, because you could just sniper out of the air. But when Vindicta's not being played, I don't think it's necessarily ban worthy, but at the same time, I don't really know what you want to ban if you're going to go beyond a Kelvin and a Viscous, because D-Mov on Viscous, we can't forget about that. We haven't talked about him in at least a week or 2, but this man's Viscous is top tier. It is the best Viscous in the game, I have to say.
He's so slippery. Great cubes. So gooey. Shout out to Goober, who will be playing a little bit later. Your Goo Man is pretty good, but he is nowhere near the D-Mov Viscous. We take a look at the Abraham's first ban. 15 seconds are up, and the Talon is the first removed. Oh my goodness, I'm dying here. Take it over, DDK.
Yeah, GT going. It's not too surprising. He has a seemingly incredibly large output right now, and just so much utility in the early to late game. So I'm not too surprised to see that, Jason. In terms of the carries, I feel like GT's been the most valuable right now. I don't think there's anyone else that does quite what GT does.
Now I know why Puckett disappeared for 3 minutes while we were on break. I know what he was doing.
Yeah, hanging out with Grandpa.
Seeing Ivy being banned out by Buff Enjoyers. I find that kind of interesting. I think they're like kind of toying with Abraham's, like, yeah, pick Kelvin, do it. We're not afraid of it. We know how to counter you. And with Mina not being banned out in the first round, I wouldn't be surprised to see her being picked in the top 3 for Buff Enjoyers.
Chat, what's gonna happen? There's a Kelvin here. Are we gonna see the Shiv? Are the Abraham's gonna come back and hand the Buff Enjoyers another big old beatdown? We've seen it in the past, but then I think they ended up losing that game because they couldn't close it out, if I remember correctly. My brain's getting all muddled up with as much as we've watched here on the night shift. Abrams is going to be locked in by the Buff Enjoyers. They get to go back-to-back. DDK, what do you pair with it?
Lash? Do they go Lash again here? Because they paired Abrams and Lash together, both with Silence Wave to deal with Kelvin. Since they're going to be frontline, they're the easiest and most susceptible to being cut off by a Frozen Shelter. But with them in the front line of your team, you stop that Kelvin outright.
The city could use some new blood.
I was going to say, the Mina's also like something I've seen get played quite a lot now. A lot of the top players are picking Mina up. She's really strong and has obviously great damage output. And the ult as well is really, really nasty. So the snowball potential is great. And I think I'm super curious about how this is going to work, but I think it's going to go very well for Buff Enjoyers. The Shiv, Kelvin, I
Shiv is
guess that
there.
was pretty obvious. If Buff Enjoyers weren't going to take that, and like you said, it's a bait. Like they know, like Buff Enjoyers know that if they're giving up the Kelvin, that they're giving up the Shiv as well.
I kind of feel like I know ball. At least I know these two teams because we see them every single week in the EU final. Abraham's pocket is going to be selected.
Okay,
Interesting.
I think it's a smarter pick, at least with Grey Talon gone, because of the negative spirit resist pocket has. But
Does the girl with the whip come out?
which one?
Is it going to be some Holly?
I think it's more of a lasso bucket than a whip. But hey, you know, if you have a dominatrix holiday skin on your game, I'm not gonna hate on it.
All right, I got mine from China. It's a little unhinged. It's fantastic.
Can I get that modeling?
Warden is going to be logged in here for Buff Enjoyers, and now the bans are going to hit. What do we target at this point? What do you want to remove? You see the Abraham's build. Does it tell you anything?
One thing I love about this Abrams Warden frontline, if I know I keep hammering on Silence Wave,
Wait, you're serious?
but Silence Wave takes Spirit Resist away from the target and takes away Spirit Power, and Warden's damage in his ultimate is Spirit damage. Mina's damage, Spirit damage. It's going to be a lot of like extra damage you can do to one target to burst down, especially if you can catch a pocket who already has that negative 15%. But if you're looking at like Shiv or Kelvin, who are going to be very susceptible to this damage coming through, this is like already a really strong team for Buff Enjoyers compared to what Abrahams have.
Namutai wants to know, doesn't Kelvin shut down Mina? Is that a thing? Does he counter Mina?
I mean, you could argue that the shelter shuts down a lot of stuff, I guess. I guess you could go with that, I suppose, with the Nostra getting cancelled out. But I feel like, yeah, I don't know if I would. I feel like Mina shuts down Pocket. That for me, that's like the interaction where I'm like, okay, this, because Pocket can get away, but if you get the Nostra just touches him, he's silenced, and it does insane spirit damage, and he sucks against spirit damage, so you just instantly kill him. So I feel like that's quite a powerful interaction that goes in Buff Enjoyer's favor. But I don't know about the Kelvin Mina in that respect.
There's the Billy locked in for the Abrahams, and we are asking our observers, what were the numbers of Billy and success in EU? He doesn't get played a lot in NA, but in EU, I feel like the team that's had the Billy has had the W, at least in the EU final. One of the top 6 characters released, I should say, most recently. Mina in that mix was never used after the opening week. Now she's back in the mix. And Bebop, who missed the first 4 weeks, is now back in the mix after getting some buffs. This is the second time in a row. Does it have better results here in week 6, Jason?
I mean, it had amazing results in week 5, so I don't know how much better you can get, to be honest. But if I also don't see Tass as necessarily that strong as a carry player on Bebop like we saw Goober, but I don't know if he's also going to go that same route. I think his role within this Bebop isn't going to be the hyper carry that we saw to Goober. It's more going to be, can we pull someone in and then frozen shelter them and get a kill, or just pull someone and get a kill, period, instead of going for that more gun heavy build we've seen in last week.
Well, Ganky, go ahead, DDK. What do you see here in the final 2 picks?
I like Geist in general when there's a lot of tanky or kind of healing heavy heroes, just because of the threat of life swap. I think it's just overall a nice addition, because Geist can play obviously up front with the rest of the crew, like Abrams and Warden. And Mirage I like because you're getting some longer range damage dealing, where Mirage can also close distance. So he's not quite as squishy as Mina, has more escape options in that close range. And there's that Doorman. Okay, we're talking about it. I was saying that the pros are playing Doorman a lot more lately, so I'm happy to see that. That's gonna be fun.
So it's not just for meme plays. Kaplan, break down the Doorman. What does he do? We have not seen it in an official night shift competition.
I think we saw it once in like the first or second week, but it did nothing.
We saw it a couple times.
And I don't really know what it's gonna. I'm trying to think what it can facilitate here in this team, because you can pull someone and then technically you can send them to the Baroness, but what does that really get you? If you pull someone and you want to kill them,
it's helpful with Warden. When Warden's ulting, you can just Baroness him, and that's kind of a nice interaction as a counter. So I think also with Abrams, like shutting down Abrams if Abrams is trying to like charge in and like create problems, initiating, I think it like takes away some of that like that initiation sometimes, just by getting that hero out of the fight. That's the thing I would say immediately that comes to my mind.
I mean, you then force him to level his ultimate first, right? So he becomes unstoppable while casting. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how they actually work around it, what the build order is gonna be, what the leveling of skill order is gonna be as well. But you know, if anyone's gonna know how to play against the Doorman, it's gonna be Buff Enjoyers.
Doorman Kim. Doorman Kim. We got Buff Enjoyers Abrahams round 6. Buff Enjoyers up 3-2. Can they extend their lead, or will we see a tie at the end of this best of 3? We jump in with the Abrahams on the Doorman. Take it away, DDK.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who will play this, because I was talking about this. I almost did a lot of review on, I think it was Hoot playing this, because he played a bunch of games on it. But Hoot can play basically everything anyway, and obviously he has a lot of pocket that he can also play. So but either way, he's on the other team on that Mina, and that's who I did do a VOD review. You saw it at the top of the show on recently, so we'll keep an eye on the Mina play. But very dangerous, high damage, spirit output, really good if you get that first lane win. Mina's amazing at actually just aggressively forcing fights by just invading your jungle and forcing you to have to respect her, but can just get away with sanguine retreat if it gets problematic. So I think if I had to make a prediction here, Jason, I'm actually kind of all in on Hoot on Mina for this game, and I think Buff Enjoyers have the edge for me.
I think for me it comes down to how this mid lane plays out for Abrahams, because if you hook someone in and then you cart them back towards your own Guardian, that person's screwed. And I think if you position in the way to do that, and you more importantly like don't do a knock up right after the hook, so you make it harder for this to hit, you could have some real easy kill potential. I mean, Zergi's going to have a decent time to get away from this. A hook actually did just land in mid lane. So Zergi's going to take quite a bit of damage here. But his teammate, I think it's Paradox, right? It's Deem up on Paradox. He's not going to have so easy of time of being able to escape if that happens onto him. So I don't know. This one's going to be really cool. Also, of course, the left lane, right? If you're talking about Abrahams together on the Shiv with Saint on the Kelvin, if they get steamrolling in the beginning, they're going to be very hard to deal with it later on in the game.
I actually think this Doorman Bebop lane is going to be extremely irritating and potentially very, very difficult to deal with. And I would expect that obviously that they get to set the lanes up. So I think the interaction of like having the doors and being able to hook through the door to grab someone to pull them through the door and that kind of stuff, Jason, is just like very exciting as a prospect.
I do remember seeing once that it would like crash the game if that happened. Or no. Didn't Hoot? I saw a video from Hoot and it got a player banned. I don't know how or why. Hopefully that's fixed.
I think that was when they were like
it happens.
going through it constantly, like again and again and again and again, like spamming that. I think. I'm not sure.
I mean, here we go. This is like a decent opportunity. There's really nowhere safe that you can hide.
It is interesting, Jason, because typically with Bebop, just the presence of the hook and hook angles creates space that you can use to pressure your opponent effectively. But with the door as well, you can create new angles that don't otherwise exist. Uniquely with Doorman, you can make those. So it's kind of crazy what could be possible with the Doorman Bebop combo.
There is no safe angle, pretty much, with the doors and where the Bebop positions to really dodge away from these hooks. It's just about if you can hit the hooks, more importantly. But we still haven't really seen this door hook combo just yet. I know it's going to be happening at some point, especially because they're constantly shoving this lane forward. So they want to make Buff Enjoyers play back at their own garden, opening up avenues for these doors to be opened up and hooks as well.
And also, you know, the Doorman projectile, you can see there's a lot of damage. You got the headshot booster coming in like very quickly. And this is all about pressure. Doorman applies a lot of pressure here. That's really what the Bebop Doorman combo is certainly very good at doing. So we'll see what can be done to contend with that. But it should allow them, because you can see also, by the way, the uppercut bomb used to clear out the wave, which then, then allows them to just once again be at the tower, putting damage on. Mirage can't shoot anything. It's a big problem here. This is a really fun lane.
I mean, they don't have a lot of wave clear for Buff Enjoyers in this lane. That's like the really difficult part. Yeah, you have like the time bombs, but those run out really quickly. And then you just have to shoot as much as possible. I don't know what items they have if they invest into monster rounds to counter push. But I mean, obviously going to see how this one's going to play out when we especially get to the ultimate coming online for both these teams. Because also, pretty easy to hook someone and then send them into the Shadow Realm if you need to.
Here we go.
Actually, there's a big soul discrepancy in middle. I mean, it's about 200-300 right now, but that's pretty dire considering the caliber of these teams. And you can see the door here alone as well.
Oh, that's a connection. Oh my goodness. Love to see that. I mean, poor Zergi suddenly able to get a break there on that mid lane. It's just so oppressive. Oh, the uppercut with the bomb there, almost killing Zergy as well. Absolutely devious stuff here on the mid lane.
I mean, is it Zergy or is it evil Zergy? I heard he had to change the ball in his trackball, and it's now red. I don't know if that's going to affect him here in this game.
He's threatening the ult there as well.
Is he going to hyper beam? I was going to say hyper beam through the door.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I think there's a reason why we're not seeing Doorman as much yet, because it's such a high skill cap hero. You play the game in a completely different way compared to the way the game's played currently because of these doors and what you can open up, all these opportunities. And it's really hard to master that. But there's the Paradox swap under the tower, as well as the tornado as well. Tast still relatively healthy, as you can see. That's going to be Demoth thrown into the Shadow Realm, and he's going to come out directly into a Hyper Beam. And it looks like no kill will happen either way from both these sides. Oh my god.
Oh wow, that's insane. That's an insta kill. Oh my goodness. Okay, and yeah, so you're seeing some of the potential here for sure, like you're saying, of the Doorman Bebop combo. If you like really work the tech out, it's pretty insane how powerful it is. But at the same time, they've got to be cautious that they don't get overconfident and complacent and give up some kills here. But it looks like it should be okay, at least, because they're still like doing a good job at being like marginally ahead here in the middle lane. But you can see also, by the way, one interaction with the Doorman ult there, the Baroness Hotel. If you get swaps, just, you know, hitting the Paradox with that, just to disrupt that initiation. It's very disruptive.
I forgot we had other lanes because I was just so intently watching this mid lane, to be perfectly honest, man. But we do have some kills coming through. AB, I think it's the second of the game so far, up to 5.3 thousand souls. Looks like the right lane is going fairly well here for Abraham. So is the left lane, as they're able to push up very aggressively. The Frozen Shelter is going to be on cooldown. As you can see, looking for the push on to together. Gets them very low on health, but not able to get the kill for now. Going for an early stam as well to make sure he has the extra mobility he's going to need to dodge away from Saint. Also the improved spirit and the cold front too. So looking for a very bursty damage when anyone gets in range of him.
Yeah, this exact build I actually covered in that video at the top of the broadcast as well. He's playing the exact same one so far. So yeah, just really good spirit damage output from this. And if they get this tower down, you know, it's really on for Hoot to start roaming the map. And that's really where the Mina starts to come into her own. But in the meantime, we do have Sharik able to take down a Guardian there for buff enjoyers. That's on the right side. We haven't really looked at that lane at all. But that one's also been going quite well for buff enjoyers, as has the middle lane.
Well, ABL did rotate from the right lane towards the middle to look for the kill on the Guardians. They end up trading the 1-for-1 apiece. But now it's also time to see how are these lanes going to shape up, who's going to be left to solo farm. And it will be Jamset on the right side, which obviously you're going to expect on the Billy. Up against Sharik on the Warden. There's a Hotel Gust coming through yet again. This one's going to be over onto Hoot, and he does not have... Oh, he just barely gets in time. Actually still takes a bit of damage, but there's going to be no follow-up on this. I thought they might stick around to go for the kill. 100 HP. He's going to live for now. Oh, what a parry. He hears the sound.
Parried there. That's crazy. I did not look like it was in range. My goodness.
Got eyes in the back of his head.
So you can see now it's a lot about this pressure game. You know, into this 8-minute mark, we get all the Sinner sacrifices coming up, and there is the attack. There's an ambush there. Abrams is going to get afflicted, and he's going to get finished off. ABL is a big problem in this game right now. He's got a decent lead early with the pocket, and the counter to the pocket is Hoot. So Hoot needs to try to keep up right now, but it seems like ABL, it's all about him. And, you know, he got his Majestic Leap up really quickly. Monster rounds, cold front, and then Majestic Leap. That's actually a huge prio, and that's because his farm has been going so well. If you're really, really getting ahead quickly, you can just skip those earlier items.
Also, very early Veil Walkers. Listic already had his online, and now we're seeing Sap with one as well. And it's kind of cool to see this adaptation to items over the course of these weeks. And I think I definitely need to do a video on Veil Walker for next week, because seeing them bought like this early is kind of insane, but it kind of shows the priority that teams want. And let's say, he's going to be caught in here in that Frozen Shelter. He's going to be finished off by Together. And so far, Abraham's off to a really good start, man. Like, ABL's had a fantastic game so far at 10,000 souls. Both Together, he hasn't really been hindered too much so far in lane at 7.3. And Shark's being left alone. He's at 9.9, about to hit 10k mark as well. And they're going to need him to be coming online if they want to have a chance against Abraham's.
Yeah, the setup we were talking about from the Veil Walkers is really, really cool. And the fact that you've also got your Bebop on it, is actually also quite devious, given the fact that he can just find hooks from being invisible where you feel like you're otherwise safe. So potentially very problematic. And okay, the juking here coming in from Demov, but this is not going to be a good look. I don't think he's trying to survive, but there's just too many opponents. Surely, yeah, it would take
the guard at least, worth it, right?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
So that's 3 Veil Walkers now picked up. One for Listic, one for Tass, one for Saf. Some really good damage being done together here. He does have the support of his team coming in to help out. And Hoot might be a little bit overextended here. It's just Hoot and Listic trying to fight up against the 3 players. And well, now ABL coming in 4 players of Abrahams. Oh, he hooks him out of the seismic slam. You're not unstoppable yet, son. Goes in for the Veil Walker. Again, very hard to see, and he's able to escape with it.
I thought he was out of there, but he gets brought back for a second go of it. Okay, well, the urn is being carried across to the deposit point at this time, and there's no contest there, really, it seems. I mean, the Oberkim is there, and Oberkim is not going to be a zero threat, but...
It's just not worth it, though, to contest, like, for the first urn, you know? I think that's why they're not really committing too many resources here. Instead, they want to look for maybe some walker damage on the left-hand side. We know how powerful Nox Nostra can be, though Hoot doesn't have it up. And there's still a fight breaking on the left-hand shop, where Listic gets caught once again.
Yeah, Chain Gang to just pull him back in. No escape this time.
Veil Walker for freaking together, too. Sorry to interrupt you. That's 4 now this game.
Yeah. Yeah, on Shiv, it's really nice. It's really, really nice.
No one stops me.
It's just for all the same reasons that we've already been discussing. It just, if you have an active team, it's super powerful. And that's how the game is played right now. And look at that, using the doorway there to get in on top of that deposit spot. That's also really fun.
And you can't really contest that. You have to like physically stay there. Because normally you see the urn running to be deposits so you can get there in time. But with the door, it's just instantaneous and you have no time to respond. Abraham's really starting to run away with this game, and almost 10,000 soul lead. And the one thing we need to take a look at is the economy out of both sides. And Listic at 6.8 thousand souls. You know, we talked about the selfless play out of Ranger last week on the Mo and Krill. But I feel like Mo and Krill can do that. Abrams, I don't know if you can really do that on this hero to be useful beyond a charge into a wall and then you instantly splatter.
That is actually disgusting. How far behind Listic is. I feel like everyone should just stop moving. Let Listic, you know, give him a free minute or something and farm. It seems kind of rough. We'll see if there's, you know, he's able to recover that. It is still absolutely recoverable at this point, but it might not be for too much longer. So we'll see how the team fights go here, because for Abrahams, you would imagine that they want us to keep pressure up and try to keep forcing spots where the other team has to respect you and fight you because you're stealing their stuff. And so we've got a pressure coming in from Abrahams on the Buff Enjoyer's Guardian on the left side here. And, you know, Mina, 13k on Hoots. Maybe not where you would have wanted to see who at this point in the game. You would have wanted to see who a bit further ahead. And there is still this gang of 3 players here in the enemy jungle for Abrahams on the left side. And Oberkim is alone, and he might get caught here.
I mean, for who? I feel like it's hard for him to be further ahead than he is right now because he's not getting in these fights as often as ABL is, for instance. But he has Majestic Leap, so of course it's easy for ABL to get involved in these fights. And you're not going to build that item on a Mina, period. And then the Cultist Sacrifice being picked up here for Tass. One picked up for ABL. Again, Cultists and Veil Walker seems to be the play this week when it comes to the Deadlock Night Shift.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The only other like super meta item that I see a lot that it seems to have an incredibly wide application is Backstabber. That's another one that seems like everyone's still getting it. But there we go. There's that gank we were talking about. We noted that Oberkim was alone. But in the meantime, yeah, you get that gank. But what's happening on the right side of the map? You are under assault. Your Walker is under assault here, Abrahams. What are you going to do to respond to this? Looking to try to defend this one. And there's a lot of players here for both teams at this point. Buff and Joy is really putting the pressure on, but they might be forced to fall off. You can see the defensive seismic slam coming on through for Buff Enjoyers. Re-engage there, wrap around the back here as Listic tries to find his way to an isolated player, perhaps, and maybe try to juke a bit more. And I don't know if he's going to survive that. He's really stuck out there at this time. There's no help coming for him just yet.
And really good defense, and I think that's just a credit to kind of how far Abrahams are ahead because in the meantime, they made a push themselves on the left-hand side, looking for some damage onto that Walker. Not able to get as much down, but again, the Backstabber coming through, giving that vision of exactly where Listic's going to be. And the Veil Walker, I don't think it saves you from the Backstabber information that you get. But Jamstad's going to close that down. Again, Listic dies another time. At least they might be able to get together off of this too.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice right now for Abrahams.
Hollow Point. Okay. I was actually curious to see what build we would have for Doorman because honestly, I'm not too familiar with what build you necessarily want to go with them.
Oh, okay. Able to get the there, Sharik. So that's something that helps Buff and Joyce close the gap. Oh, really? Oh, it just got picked. Wait, am I crazy?
Yeah, it just got picked up. It just spawned in.
Oh, I'm
Last
crazy.
one was turned in. Saint with the door.
I'm officially crazy.
It happens. We're all a little bit crazy. And I think Buff and Joyce might be crazy to let this one go in for free because that'd be 2 back-to-back urns. But also, you're giving these ability points over to Saint, which makes his dome heal so much more if he's invested into that, or his grenades as well. The extra ability points for Kelvin in particular, with the way that Abrahams play him, it's so impactful. You can already see he already has his max level Frozen Shelter.
Our blue walker is under attack.
Yeah, good map control for Buff and Joyce right now. Able to extend themselves kind of wherever they want. And they do need to find a way to get back in here. And you see teams like they're sort of trading each other's jungles a little bit at the moment. The 3 players for Buff and Joyce on that, well, 4 now on the right side, coming back into the mid position. Spotted ABL pocketing around. He'll pocket away as we get a potential surround here on the Abrahams players that were in that mid lane. Buff and Joyce are encircling them, but it looks like Abrahams will be able to just fall off of that fight just before it happens. Not a great engagement for them positionally. Both teams really positioning heavily around this mid area at the moment, Jason.
I think the ball's in Abraham's court right now to take this game. I think Buff and Joyce are looking to just drag this out. Because Hooch just can become that much stronger as the game goes on. So does Obi Kim. I feel like Shiv will fall off the later the game goes on. Bebop will fall off in the sense of damage later on as the game goes on. And they're not really in a position to force these fights. The best case for them is to be able to get picks together onto Abrahams, but they're going to be very hard to lock down because of the doorman alone, just providing so much extra escape, maneuverability, escapability, whatever you want to call it for the team.
Giving Shiv the Sinner's bonuses there makes a lot of sense. Get your Shiv strong. And all the neutrals, everything's sort of cleaned up now at this point on the map. But a 14k, 15k difference now in favor of Abrahams. And Abrahams are a team that will definitely just do a mid boss without a pick. Like we've seen that before. I'm curious what the exact criteria are that they need to fulfill for them to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And I don't know if they feel like they're comfortable enough at the moment to do it, but the fact that Frozen Shelter can easily facilitate this play. I haven't seen a single silence wave picked up for Buff and Joyce just yet, but I'm really curious about like Listic's play style. Is he intentionally just going to die or until he dies to give Zergy like an advantage in this game, or is there an advantage to doing that? I've watched a lot of these two like playing together like this, and Listic usually dies a lot in lane to the point that it feels intentional, but I don't know, is this kind of some kind of strat?
I do not know. Oh, that right side walker almost died. Abraham's like just shredding that one. Nostostra coming out, and again, like Nostostra really does shut down the pocket. Good opening damage onto ABL actually, so already kind of puts him on the back foot. So he's not really in a spot to take a fight right now. At the same time, the rest of Abraham's pushing that left side walker now. At the same time, as you got Sharik and Warden for Buff and Joyce trying to get that walker on the right side. He might be in a 1v1 in a bit, but it's all about this defense on the left side at the moment. And you got Abraham's falling away. They're falling off of that one.
Yeah, Abrahams have to be... I mean, they're still pushing the right lane up against Doorman here. Shard trying to take it down with the last stand. He's at 21,000 souls. He will be finished off here, though. No real chance to escape this one, so he'll be punished. In the meantime, Buff and Joyce looking for a fight in the left-hand lane as they do get a swap coming through. And there's the Frozen Shelter. And again, there's no silence way. There's no way to stop this one. But in the meantime, Zergy is able to get a kill on together, if I can get my words out. And Abrahams are on the retreat.
But unfortunately for Buff and Joyce, They only got 1 kill there. Unless they can... Actually, they should be able to get Saint down as well. He seems like kind of trapped at the moment. Because the trade there needs to be at least like 2 or more kills. And in fact, ABL is going to take down the Walker as well in the midst of all of that. So ultimately, Abraham's come out on top on the macro there.
I think Buff and Joyers might be able to take this Walker back for themselves, though. There's really no one to defend against this. We're down to below half HP. ABL is not able to continue to push in towards these base gardens because Shark's going to be there. Listic gets stunned up. I think they're going to they have to commit for it there. They do eventually finish it off. They even get a kill in mid lane over onto Saf. So this actually might be the opportunity that Buff and Joyers are looking for. In the meantime, Hoot goes down, and if they kept him alive, there was definitely a possibility of going for mid boss here. There's Affliction coming in to go for the catch on the Shark. And Sergey will be the one to fall for now.
And look at the chase here. Billy looking really, really strong right now from Jam side. Uncollected by Buff Enjoyers. It is just barely a neutral earn, it feels like. And here it is. We talked about what are the criteria for mid boss. They've got, they have multiple picks. So this is a great time to do it. Buff Enjoyers in a lot of trouble right now. Do they want to try to contest here? They're going to be dropping in on top of this one to try to do some damage and maybe get a steal. I don't know if it's possible. ABL's going to completely shut this one down. You have the Frozen Shelter as well to make matters worse here and make it even more favorable for Abrahams. 11 kill streak, 12 kill streak for ABL. Absolutely blowing up the opposing team. In comes Who on the Mina. I don't know. I like the odds here. 1 versus 5. I don't know about that one. Who is trying to do something to delay this, but it's not looking like it's going to result in too much.
He's good, but he's not that good, Dan. And this mid also going to be taken for Abrahams. Not only do they get it with all crystals, they're also going to get the 4 kills on top of this. And even maybe get Earn off the back of this as well. Like, this game is completely coming up Abrahams here. And honestly, I think it was a mistake to contest that. You gave, like, maybe you can get a kill or 2. But you still have the Frozen Shelter to deal with that a Saint, and he's going to section you off. They have nothing shutting him down to prevent this from going down. They have no one really able to dive in. Like, Listic has been able to catch up in souls, but he's only at 16,000, and he's going to be a good 4 to 5k behind the majority of Abrahams. And he's like 13, 14,000 behind ABL, who's on 32,000 souls in this game. They just don't have an answer for ABL and the damage he's going to do.
Yeah, he just took over. I mean, right from the beginning, he found a way to get ahead, and he just never let it go. Abrahams with the doorman. Doing a great job so far. And
all 4.
I hope we see more doorman. I feel like there's so much utility.
Well, let me ask you in your opinion, right? Do you think the doorman has been one of the keys to success in this game for Abrahams? I think I can give you my answer if you want to take a second to think about it. I think the domination they had in that mid lane really gave them like 2 winning lanes, which is not easy to do against Buff Enjoyers. And I think the hooks task has been able to do so far have been really good, but also the build he's going for, where he's not really falling off because he's building into toxic bullets. He's building into more damage instead of playing more supporty, where Saint will be doing that himself. They've also been able to keep Listic behind. I haven't seen Obi Kim's build so far just yet, but Buff Enjoyers, I feel like, really didn't win any of these lanes, even though they did get a Guardian relatively early.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the utility is extremely powerful. Good damage output as well. And we're seeing now just many of the final moments here is Abrahams are looking to just use these rejuves, forcing the fight into the Kelvin Shelter. Billy is scary enough. A chain gang inside the Kelvin Shelter, that is a problem. Everybody pulled on in, and the fight continues under the broken Walker as the debris falls everywhere. Also, Buff Enjoyers players will be falling as well. So really, really nice here from Abrahams finishing it off. And I have to say, I agree, Jason. I love the damage gun build. I like the utility, the disruption, because it's just a very hard. It just messes up everything in the fight. It's like someone going to the hotel for a bit.
And Jamside's build, like Frenzy, Point Blank, weighted shots, Fortitude, Backstabber, Cultist, Heroic Aura, like ridiculous damage. And he doesn't really need a survivability because he already has 3.7k health just kind of naturally within Billy's build. His hero. That's gonna be the first stage patron going down. Buff Enjoyers, they do have 2 players left alive. The Nox Nostra was being used out of Hoot, but you're not gonna kill anyone from this one. If anything, you're gonna force Abraham's back, and I kind of wanted to see them go for the finish here, but I respect that they want to finish this game cleanly and not give Buff Enjoyers a chance to get back into this game, even though they're about 50,000 down.
Totally. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how you could classify Doorman, because what was that?
He has glass cannon.
Oh yeah, I love that. Wow.
What? Why? Why do you have that? Such a,
you know what?
I
Like,
mean,
if
it's working.
If you can get it, I mean, it's kind of insane. You know, like if you have enough survivability already, just with how the game's going, that you feel like glass cannon can work. Dude, it actually is horrendous to play against. Oh, he gets the gun buff as well. Oh my god, he's going to be a problem.
Well, this is the problem right now, too, for Buff Enjoyers. The urn back in the hands of Abrahams again. They've had every single urn this game. It's on their side of the map. But if Abrahams win this fight, it's game over. Buff Enjoyers have to put up a defense here. There's no point waiting in your base. That's why they're coming out to contest this. They have to go for it now, or there's no chance to get back in it whatsoever. The Hyper Beam up above the high ground. Gonna be shining down onto the low ground here as the fight has kicked off, and the Frozen Shelter is locking down multiple members of Buff Enjoyers. Hoot's stuck inside, so is Obi Kim. And I think this is just beginning of the end here now, Dan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is not a good look here for the Buff Enjoyers. What a knife around the corner there. Playing Soldier of Fortune too.
Oh, and Refresher too for Saint. That's dirty.
There's nothing you can do against this now at this point. Everyone's dead. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. I was trying to think, Jason, like, how do you kind of classify Doorman? Because he's got his abilities are so interesting. It reminds me of Bebop in a way, where there's no other Bebop. There's just Bebop. You know, in terms of like, if you can't like, oh, they took Bebop away, we can just fit something else into this play style. It's like, no, Bebop is Bebop.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Like, he's kind of a facilitator, but he's not an initiator, but he's like a playmaker. He has multiple roles, right? Because the doors you can put down can be playmaking for your team. But you're also not really an initiator, because you're not the one forcing a fight or forcing the engagement. You're more about reacting or creating other like lines of sight to play from. So yeah, I think I have to have a think on that and come back to you.
All right, Kutana, shout out in the chat saying, if you want this jam side build on the Billy, it's called the All-In Goat. Look it up. Try it out for yourself. I hope you didn't just troll us all. Kutana, welcome to the stream and welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, alongside DDK and Jason Kaplan. That was a bit surprising. The Doorman I thought was going to be a weakness. Didn't seem to be so much a thing. And then on the other side, Listic off to a slow game is something I am not used to seeing. Jason Kaplan, how do the Abrahams establish dominance and then take advantage of it in the second half?
I think a lot of it was about that early game. They had 2 very successful lanes. You see here, Tass and Saf together, the Bebop and the Doorman, were really able to keep Zergy in check, as well as D-Mob. And I don't really remember seeing too many like good engagements out of D-Mob with his Predactyl swaps. It's mostly just all about Abrahams. And then also, if you go beyond the mid lane, it was the left lane. Like, Together and Saint had a good start. They didn't really lose lane. They did get Guardian, I believe, first in that lane, as you can see here. And they continue to snowball from there. But, I mean, if we're going to nail it down to, like, one thing in particular, ABL, man. We didn't really talk about the right lane whatsoever, Dan. We didn't look at the right lane whatsoever. And yet he came out of that laning phase with such a lead that he did not slow down whatsoever and continued to build up. Exactly. Very fat indeed.
Everyone's saying in chat the Together Kelvin mix, the Shiv Kelvin from Together and Saint, was an instant win. As soon as these 2 characters got locked in, it was pick 1 and pick 3. Thoughts about this moving forward? Do you have to ban one of those 2 in next game?
I don't think that you necessarily do. I think there is enough ways to, like, it's definitely strong, but I think you know, you're not necessarily wanting to pick the Kelvin without the Shiv and vice versa necessarily. Obviously, you can make the Kelvin work, but not the Shiv without the Kelvin, I suppose. But I feel like, you know, Buff Enjoyers might look at that and be like, well, we get 2 free picks in different categories completely. And so I don't know that it's necessarily as strong as it might first appear. I think there's lots of ways to counter it. But I think, for me, ABL was really the issue. The fact that he got so far ahead, and I think, like what Jason said, the win in mid was insane, because the ramifications of that are also as a nerf to Zergy. Zergy on the Mirage couldn't get anything done for quite some time, and it's normally Zergy's able to be someone that can get ahead into the game and be one of your damage carries, and he was kind of woefully behind, as was Listic. Listic was also woefully behind as well, so I don't think these are issues of the Shiv Kelvin, personally.
Does Zergy go back to the 7 next game? We'll find out what is going to happen. Remember, it is a best of 3 in the grand finals. Abraham's getting the best of their opponents here in the first fight. And that's fun, because now we have Buff Enjoyers against the ropes. You're 1 loss away from letting them tie you at 3 wins each. That'd be $3 grand to both teams in total winnings since the night shift started. Kaplan, expectations moving forward with this best of 3.
You know, I'm going to go back to what you're saying about the bans next game. What did the Ivy ban accomplish for Buff Enjoyers? I think Dan is very right in that there's ways to deal with the Kelvin, but I don't think Ivy is as big of a threat as Kelvin can be. And if you mess up against Kelvin, you're going to get Frozen Shelter and you're going to lose. If you mess up against Ivy, then you're just going to take some extra damage from Ivy. I kind of want to see a change in bans, maybe Pocket, if anything, as well. But I'm expecting to see a different game plan for sure going forward for Buff Enjoyers.
Big shout out to Jax Libido and Sketchy J. They are topping the stream when it comes to gifted. Remember, as we are closing out on September, you can get up to 30% off of your gifted subs, or just any sub in general. And not only that, you can also like prepay for subs in the future. I saw somebody just subbed for 3 months earlier. Big shout out to everyone supporting the stream, to our Patreons who'll be joining the Graveyard Shift after our NA tournament as well. There's a lot in this broadcast. For now, though, Solomon, do you want a break, or should we just roll right into game 2? I'm all caffeinated. I'm ready to rock, but we need our players to go to the restroom. So we're going to a break. When we come back, it's more Deadlock Night Shift Round 6. Ding, ding. We'll see you in a moment. The night shift is on. Clock in, ladies and gentlemen, and lock in for more Deadlock. We're jumping into game 2, where our reigning champs are on the back foot. They just got handed a bebop down from some Billy play. We saw some fantastic doorman play, and we expect some changes in the gameplay with Kelvin and Shiv getting first and second picked. Will they allow it again, or will the Buff Enjoyers mix up this draft? We got Jason Kaplan and DDK joining us. And DDK, if you had an MVP from game number 1, who would it be?
Definitely ABL, for sure, on the Pocket. Just incredibly good performance. And I don't think the problem is with Pocket, when Pocket gets ahead on a player like ABL, who's maybe the best, if not one of the best carries in all of the world in this game right now, it's going to be problematic. He was able to rush Majestic Leap really quickly to just further create problems, because Pocket's playstyle is all about aggression. So if you get ahead that early on a player like that, that power carries across to all of the other lanes, and it becomes everyone's problem very quickly.
For all the gamblers in the chat, get your dopamine now. The prediction is open for game number 2. Jason Kaplan, it's time to hand over the mic, though, to you for our bans and protects. Who's getting banned out first here for Buff Enjoyers?
The ritual has
Kelvin, maybe? Okay, they actually go to Great Town. So, weirdly enough, Buff Enjoyers, did they have first pick last game, or was it second pick? I think it was second pick, right? They went the Abrams and the Mina. Okay, so never mind. They actually went for first pick this time because they really want to prio a specific hero in particular. And I think they're letting the Pocket go through so they could potentially steal it away and give it on over to who, Dan?
I'm just watching Pocket right now. He's having an internal battle.
A cat escaped into my basement. I'm allergic to cats and struggling, boys.
Is Calico like attacking you right now?
She's up in my shit. I'll believe that.
All right, so the first pick here will be pretty informative for Buff Enjoyers. Do they go Abrahams again? I don't know. I think there's a lot of different. I mean, they could go Viscous here. You know. Okay, so there's something that they understand about the gun Ivy. I mean, Jason, you were talking about if the Ivy ban was worth it. Now we're going to find out the answer to that question, because they're valuing it. I mean, if Buff Enjoyers are valuing it that high, there's got to be a reason, right? We got to give them that. Got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Is Zergy's like trackball only working if he's on Ivy? Like, this is kind of crazy to see. I don't know. I'm still like amazed that they first picked an Ivy out of all the heroes they could have gone for. I mean, Pocket's still available to pick for Abrahams. They're not going to probably go Shiv since Kelvin's being taken away already by them. Expecting Buff Enjoyers to steal it for Obi Kim. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the global presence is kind of insane, and you can obviously shove lanes really quickly. You can take down walkers really quick with an Ivy. But for Abraham's side, I mean, the belly worked. So did the Pocket. Damn, Pocket, your face is getting red, and I know you're not blushing.
I'm dying, bro.
Get some clarity.
So we find out he's deathly allergic to cats, and his face starts swelling up on air.
Well, Pocket comes out, so we know who's playing that for Abrahams. The Billy as well was also very, very strong. And okay, there we go. We get the Viscous, which was what we wanted to see, I think. I think that's definitely a comfort pick. That's going to be helpful.
We got the sticky icky out. Viscous is here, chat. And we got the Pocket. You know, that makes me happy. Where do we get weird? Because I've seen a lot of these characters. Is there a new Doorman style strat you can bring out that we haven't seen, DDK?
I mean, I think Doorman's definitely on the cards again. I don't know that if Buff Enjoyers would go for him. It's possible though, because Buff Enjoyers do have the players that can play him. It's just about, like Jason said, you have to actually have a game plan for it quite specifically. You can't just throw it in there with no plan for how you're going to combo it. So we saw Abrahams do that with Bebop, and it seemed like an opportunistic choice. But this time, there's your Mo Krill, Jason.
So we had Paradox make it through the first 6 picks. Why is Abrams more highly valued than a Paradox? Maybe because they expect Mo Krill to be picked on the other side, or maybe because they want to have some sort of beefy front line. But this is wild right now for me.
Yeah, the Mina taking away Mina, I think, again, we didn't see it last game, but Mina is a great counter to Pocket. Also, you're right, like Holiday's available, Paradox is available. Holiday did get nerfed a bit, but Holiday is still a really strong initiator. But maybe you feel like with all the Veil Walkers or something, maybe there's a world right now where they're not valuing initiators as much in that respect.
Wait, you serious?
Lash going away, and Paradox and Holiday are available.
Paradox gets locked in right here.
Yeah, you'd imagine it's going to be. It has to be one of those initiators soon.
But you also have combo. You've got chain gang. You know, you've got abilities that already are going to be. You know, you're going to be able to initiate with. So they're going to go the Doorman instead. I think this makes sense. I can see Abraham's not going Pocket or Holiday.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up like Bebop now, actually, to take it away from the Doorman Bebop combo we saw in mid. And we know Demov can play a really good Bebop, but the problem is he's on Viscous, but then again, you have Hoot, who can play Bebop. And think way back, and you're going to love this name, Puckett, to the My Dong days.
I do love My Dong days. Sounds like a great time. Were you the My Dong leader?
No. That's Tvik. You know Tvik. He had a My Dong team in Overwatch, and a My Dong team in Deadlock.
Wow. Keeping it alive. Multiple titles. That guy, legend. Shout out to Tavik and all the other Finnish and Swedish friends we have. We've got Paradox locked in for Buff Enjoyers. We wondered where he was going to land. Abraham is prioritizing the Doorman. And now, with pick number 5, we select
they
7.
1-2 punched it, right? They took the Bebop and Paradox. They took both of the pick potentials. So now you're forced to go Holiday for Abrahams, which means the Doorman Holiday lane isn't going to be that strong. Or they're going to have to go some other route.
I just want to say quickly, I feel kind of left out because I don't know about My Dong. Could you guys tell me about My Dong?
I heard it's small. Not many people have seen it. Those who have been disappointed.
They were, a small team. They had some big things going for them, and they definitely toughened up when it was required. They did get a couple of wins, and they did have some good celebrations. I don't know where I'm going with this, and I don't want to get too...
Celebrations are important. Yeah. Shout out to Intel. Thank you all for joining us as well. This is a $1,000 money match. Money put up by Intel. It used to be by us in the chat. Intel coming in and taking a load off of us and allowing you guys to enjoy a load of action like Jason Kaplan is about to unleash. Let's take a look here at Hayes, which slips in as the 12th selection. Hayes belongs in the meta right now? Question mark, because chat's a little confused here.
I think Hayes is good. Yeah. I think Hayes is like a solid pick for damage, especially with a decent enough front line. You've got Viscous, you've got Abrams, you've got a lot of ways to lock heroes down. You've got the swap. There's ways to isolate heroes. Obviously, that's how Hayes is going to get the best performance. And I think Hayes also with some of the current like meta items like Backstabber and so on. There's just a lot. I think we're in the time of Hayes. Hayes definitely is pretty good. I think there's just a lot of good options you could pick, which is more so why you don't see heroes much.
Is this Zergy on the Hayes? What does Zergy play? Because last game, we saw him rocking the Mirage. That did not go well. In the past, Zergy has been kind of looked at as that hyper carry.
Should be Ivy. It should be Ivy, and Hoot should be on Bebop, which then to me says like Obi Kim is going to be on the Paradox or the Hayes. And I'm kind of leaning towards Hayes because Demov should be on the Viscous.
I could see
I don't
here
know,
on the
this is-
haze as well.
Puckett, it's been a
potentially.
month. Paradox is a she. How was I supposed to know? Got like
Can't
a
tell.
lightning light bulb as a head or something like that. All right, we're gonna talk
All
about
lava
this,
lamps
Mo.
are she's.
We jump into it. Back to you.
Yeah, I'm curious to find out, Jason, who's going to be on what. I do think there's, you know, the hero ball's pretty good. Okay, Oberkim is on the haze. Okay, there we go. And Hoot is on the B-Wall, just as you
Shark
said.
gonna be on the viscous. Okay. Interesting.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you got LeBron on the team. You don't want to give him the ball. D-Mob would love to play some viscous, but again, this goes to the flexibility of the roster, right? Like everyone can almost play everything on this team. You're never really 100% certain of who's going to be playing who when it comes to the draft.
And it also should indicate that Shariq's Viscous should be good enough that it will not be letting the team down. You know, I'm comfortable with this, and I like that this draft is very different, Jason, compared to what we saw previously from Buff Enjoyers, because Abraham's their draft looks maybe more scary almost. You know, adding in the Yamato, adding in Holiday on top of all of it, that's actually pretty wild.
I think Hayes for this, just to quickly change topics really fast, is that I think it's gonna be more of like a tempo pick for them, as we saw last week. What the Hayes can provide with like a slowing hex in the beginning of the game can be very hard to deal with. And actually, I don't know if the slowing hex, I wouldn't imagine it stops the doors from being used, like from being put down. But it can be used to really dismantle like ABL in particular in TAS.
Okay, this is good so far from Buff Enjoyers. You can see that the Ivy Viscous of Buff Enjoyers are able to get the pressure on the Doorman Billy lane so far, and you know, they're falling back a little bit, get some of the crates, maybe getting by. But we'll see how the lane pressure dynamic works, because it certainly went the way of the Doorman in the previous game. And they also know now what Saf is going to build in terms of Doorman. Doorman, I feel like if gun build is like actually so sick on Doorman, I feel like Doorman is going to get played a lot more, Jason.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those heroes that is going to be highly contested. The better and better teams get, and the more teams are willing to learn how to play around a doorman, because it's not like you have an Abrams on your team you're adding into the pool. It's not as one-dimensional. It's a hero that the entire team has to play around to make it successful. It's not just good on its own. So I think teams need to experiment and get used to a little bit more, and then we're going to see his stocks skyrocket to the moon.
I do have a worry for Buff Enjoyers, because I think one of the most important lanes is going to be the right lane, because that's where ABL is. And ABL is paired up with Mo and Krill. And the dynamic there typically is going to be that ABL on the pocket is really good at pressuring opponents and putting the damage on them. And that creates a world where those opponents then can't hit the creeps. So that means that your creeps will crash into the enemy tower. And also ABL is with the Mo and Krill. And Mo and Krill is amazingly good at clearing the creeps very quickly. So you have both dynamics taken care of very optimally by both a pocket and a Mo and Krill. So I think that lane for Abrahams is very, very good.
Yeah, they have a really fast wave clear with those two heroes. In particular, on the other side, the Hayes and the Abrams, you're not able to clear as quickly. One thing also I'm looking for Buff and George side in particular when it comes to the Viscous, since the first time we're seeing it today, is when that express shot comes online. That's where Viscous really gets a lot of his power from. But I don't know exactly when we're going to see it or how Shark is going to build necessarily, but it should be one of the core items that he goes for.
Oh, there we go. A little bit of a punish there onto the Ivy. Here we have Stoneform. It doesn't look like it. Oh, it's getting dangerous. There's that cube in the last second. And some good damage. Again, this is why Viscous is so problematic in the skilled hands of a player like Shariq. You think you're getting away. The Puddle Punch comes in and completely destroys your momentum. Really strong lane here. I think this lane in of itself, almost as a fractal, is indicative of how this game feels like it will already be a lot more competitive.
Are you talking about the left lane or the right lane?
The right lane.
Okay. Yeah,
And sorry, left lane. Sorry, I meant left lane with Viscous.
yeah. And then with the left lane is that you shouldn't be able to kill Zergy and Shark. I mean, Zergy I see is on 1 HP right now, but you have Cube and you have like the Stone Form. There's so many escape mechanisms, so much extra healing in lane. And if you're gonna kill them, you have to really go all in and then kind of stick with them if you want to commit for that kill. But they do get the kill nonetheless over on a Zergy, so send him back to base. Gem side, he is down by 700 souls compared to Zergy though, which is kind of insane at this point in the game. Did Listic? Okay, I was gonna say his ultimate didn't show online, like that he had it, but it shows online on the UI here at the top of the screen. I was thinking maybe he didn't level it, or someone's stuck. Who's stuck?
Door stuck.
He's unsticking.
I mean, he played on Maidong. He knows how sticky he can get.
Well, engagement here, the chain gang will be initiated. The cube, as you described, very effective in keeping people alive. Speaking of which, so it's the shadow form. In comes the connection with that flying strike, and Hoot is no more. He's been severed.
You know, I'm happy to see Together back on Yamato. I think that was one of his best heroes, like way back in the day, almost a year ago at this point. I think we're actually crossing that year past since we started casting Deadlock very, very soon, Dan. I have to go back and check the dates. I think it's like the 23rd of September was our first one or something like that.
I believe so.
And we're still garbage at it. It's not funny if you don't laugh, Dan.
Oh, sorry. I didn't get that. The cue. The laughing cue. I need to learn human emotions. It's all an act. I just do what I think I'm supposed to, but none of it's authentic.
That's how I spent my entire career casting. Just do what I think is supposed to be done. Hyper Beam going off in the mid lane though. Pedestal swap as well, and who's trying to track him down to look for a kill? Even a charge coming through. And it looks like they're going to be able to pull off a kill from this foot. I'm not sure if that was server lag, but it looks like it.
Oh, look at the particle effects. Look at the particle effects, aren't they? Ooh. Amazing.
Particles.
Look at Pocket. He loves it. He loves the look at the explosion. Oh, the purple beam.
The
it's like
colors, bro. I'm vibing with this guy. Look at that shot. Whoa. Shout out to observers. Thank you to everyone in chat. And thank you to the newest subs. We see you sneaking in. Kachakashka, Mitchu Savage, Float, Sheldon. Thanks for all tuning in, my friends. And a reminder, we are here every single week. If you like Europe, tune in early. If you like North America, tune in later. If you like Deadlock, tune in for the whole show. Because it's great competition with the best players from around the world. Back to DDK and Jason Kaplan. Oh, yeah.
That is such a connection. That's so satisfying. That's
Dude, I am a Quake player. You could tell. Hitting those mid-air rockets, those middies.
Oh yeah, that is some Quake business right there. And the fight continues onwards. The hook versus the lasso. What is better? The parry though. That's definitely a problem. It's a bit of a headache now for Hoot on Bebop. He's getting his bell rung, and here comes the chase. It's hard to actually escape a holiday. I've got to say that. And there is that revolver firing away, and he's being slippery, but he's run out of grease.
He goes from an amazing play of that hook onto Together to getting parried twice in a row by Tass and then dying. And Zergy trying to go for the chase to redeem him, but now he's got Jamside here to fight with as well. He's not going to be able to 1v2 this, especially with Shark going down, and Abraham's coming out the better of this. This was an engagement initially starting with Buff and Jars on that middle lane. I think back to Enlisted, goes for the charge, but a counter lasso to Tass opens things up for them. And I think Zergy, he's going to fall here as well. Shetron's used to dodge away from the stun. And yeah, you're not escaping this one, son. Abraham's with the kill advantage here, closing the solo lead down to 2K.
Yes. And who's up on the bridge is going to find himself assisting his teammates. Very lovely, isn't it? Very gentlemanly behavior from Hoot. And his trouble here for Together. Nowhere to escape. And, well, as we take stock of the macro, it looks very much like Buff Enjoyers are indeed having a way better time at the moment.
We're going to a game 3, chat.
Yeah, and by this time, last game, it was ABL that was 2-3k souls ahead of everybody. But if we look at how things are going right now, the wealthiest players, I mean, it's pretty even actually across the board. No one has really any wealth disparity currently.
And Listic has more souls 9 minutes in than he had in the first 20 minutes of the last game at 7.5.
True.
Veilwalker picked up for Hoot already. They'll be maxing that uppercut, looks like, first. And then Obicam, you can see on the mini-map, trying to gauge for some information here. The lasso, I swear that connected. And I don't know what happened with Obicam, but he escapes to live for another day, at least for now. Does have Listic to help out. And here's ABL here to join the party.
Yeah, Sword coming on through, Hyper Beam, Beaming, Hyper Beaming. Looks like a lot of fun. I wish I had a Hyper Beam. But we've got another group fight here as we have that urn coming on down. The 10-minute mark is hit, and it is actually Sharik who's going to the left lane. Could collect the urn if he wanted to, but right now, I mean, the positioning for both sides certainly threatens an engagement here. You've got the high ground here for together on a Yamato. And is indeed going to be collected and
it's
delivered more quickly by Hoot.
I think for a second there thought like he's gonna get hooked out of this one, but it was a teammate hook. It was good.
Yeah, exactly.
Teammate out.
A little bit worried for a sec.
You know, one thing, speaking of worrying, I do worry about for Abrahams though in this is that they don't really have a solid hard engage. I mean, Tass, if he can hit a lasso, would be ideal, but you also do have some Veilwalkers already picked up, like Saint has one as well. To look for those combos. That is a massive amount of damage already off the bat together, but the damage has been done to him. He's gonna fall, and a hook comes in out of Hoot, delivers a cowgirl to his team, but no one's there to lasso her on in.
I mean, Shriek is doing a great job on Viscous so far, I've got to say. Viscous has been the biggest difference for the team. Winning a lane, able to get these initiations. And the urn has been picked up. It's being run by Obikim. But the map control there is not with them. Currently, 2 Abraham's players on the right side lane, Jason. They are combating Zergi. They've sent Zergi away.
Just have actually the flight to get away, the airdrop to create some distance. I even heard a sleep dagger go through. But the urn, I think it was dropped, and I actually don't know where it is on the map. I think Jamside's trying. No, who's that trying to pick it up? Someone's trying to grab it. Try to run it back for the team. Obikim does secure it once again as a push out of Abraham's back towards the Walker. Forces them to retreat. And Listic, he's getting a lot of solo farm in this left-hand lane by himself, trying to get him back in the game here as Task gets hooked in. Counter lasso comes through. The bomb's going to blow up and not take down Task just yet, but the luggage car takes down Hoot instead. And the urn did get secured while all this was happening, though, in the meantime, by Obikim.
Guardian goes boom. And so will the one on the right side there in favor of Buff Enjoyers. So, and also lots of jungle invade for Buff Enjoyers. So that's exactly what they're going to be doing right now. In the meantime, 3 players here from Abrams descending on the left side. Guardian. And there is Saf trying to be very annoying. But I don't know, there's a massive response here from Buff Enjoyers. They've sent so many players to defend this. And Abrahams may have bitten off more than they can chew, trying as they may to try to escape the situation. Seismic Slam coming on through. Can it get a catch on anybody? Boom! Falling, and the stun. He's gone through a doorway, but the doorman this time will die.
Yeah, let's get through that doorway to safety, though. I think a really smart play out of Buff Enjoyers, though, to defend that heavily on that Guardian. It was the last Guardian of the game for them, and they deny the flex shot away from Abrahams as we're approaching the 14-minute mark. You're going to start to want to have those slots open. So really a big emphasis out of Buff Enjoyers to deny that from Abrahams and use this as a way to continue to build up a lead as they're up to now 6,000 souls. That swap came, it looked like it came through the particle swap there onto ABL, but I guess it was in his briefcase while it was happening. Oh, that was weird. Surge of power on Obikim. He's not going that typical like silencing Hex at all.
Yeah, the Surge of Power is Quicksilver into Surge of Power on Haze is the kind of common builds at the moment, or part of the common build.
There's a push on the right-hand side out of Tass. They have been held off as Saf had gone down. Another Veil Walker, this time for Tass here. And the Mystic shot. Just looking for something. Maybe the lasso to pull Zerg in because he has Together coming. But it's going to be a 2v2 over in that lane. Shark's going to be here to join the fight. And they want to go on the push. But you just see how hard it is to catch a Holiday here, Dan.
Yes, and just to expand on the Surge of Power thing for Haze real quick. Normally you think about, oh, we want to buff up our spirit damage. Obviously you do get some spirit damage on the dagger, but it's more about you get bonus movement speed, and it more than doubles your fire rate of the Quicksilver reloads compared to the normal. So that's part of it. But speaking of which, you see that fire rate is kind of sketchy, very dangerous for Taz as he escapes. So
I was expecting more of the supporty kind of build that we saw over in North America last week. But I mean, there's really not a lot of players on the other side to use the Sloan Hex against, to be fair. And Saf, don't know how you escape this, but he does. The parries come through. Obikim cancels his ultimate just early enough for the luggage cart. Catches Obikim. And he's checked out early from the Paradise Hotel.
That is comical timing. Well, the fight breaking out here. I mean, both sides of the map right now have potential engagements. In fact, Buff and Joe is actually 3 players on that urn. So Abrahams will get the left side tower. And the question is now the urn fight, because the 15-minute urn is definitely valuable, quite valuable. And the map control there is contested on the deposit spot. So could see a pretty interesting team fight here. And just thinking about the ults, there's no ults really online that are particularly dangerous except Lasso for Abrahams. So I think that's pretty good news as far as Buff and Joes are concerned.
I'm wondering if they're trying to use this as an avenue or opportunity. There's Zergy to push the right lane. Walker, again, Ivy, going to shred those walkers extremely fast. We already see Abrahams have 2 players on this right-hand side to defend against it and are shoving it out. But that means there's also 2 players not going to be there for the urn. There's a Sleep Dart Dagger coming through and the hook on top of this, and the Saint. Oh my god, he just can't escape. Let this man go. He doesn't want to be here.
Leave the mole alone.
But look at the utility of the Veil Walker. We've seen it multiple times. There's just so much that you can really see why it's so good, but don't want to get too bogged down in that because it looks like eventually maybe the mole will die. I mean, look at the juking. It's actually kind of crazy. He gets a little combo just, you know, for effects right at the end there. Show him who's boss as he goes down. And the Charlotte transformation comes in. Hyper Beam as well unleashed here as Buff and Joyers are really happy to fight in this position, it seems. And Abraham's a little bit out of sorts at the moment. Now they're bringing in every player. Now everyone is here for Abrahams. Can they now make this a good fight as they start to challenge? And very late to that fight is the Viscous. Sharik there for Buff and Joyers is coming on through. And so this kind of second engagement, re-engage that's possible might be better here for Buff and Joyers as Abrahams still have 2 players pretty deep here. Under a lot of fire at the moment. The cube comes on in for the save there for Listic, but how long will he survive as he comes out of the cube? They're able to actually get away. Impressive there. Sharik with the save.
And Zerg is pushing the right lane while all this was happening. But the respawn out of Saint, he gets there to defend it in time, not really getting that much damage down. But that re-engage. Is there a world where we see Zergy rejoin his team here on this left-hand side to catch out Abrahams? Instead, to do what Zergy does, continue to farm away. He has Capacitor this early on as well, which makes Bow and Krill not tanky. I don't fully remember what else it's going to work on against Abrahams here, though.
Well, you can see Buff and Joyers are really happy to keep the fights pushed into the jungle right now, which means that Abrahams are getting a little bit suffocated in that sense. And the big fight on the right side for Zergy, 1v2 under the Walker. Zergy, if he can actually hold that 1v2, looks like he might get some help coming on through from Hoop potentially sometime soon. But there is ganks on the way as well. You've got Obikim coming in with the haze. He's going to spot both players. So Obikim on the minimap, I'm curious what he has seen, because he is chasing somebody.
Observer, Dad wants to go to Obikim. He's the haze. Can we go to haze, please? Thank you.
There we go. Okay, now he's going to get comboed. He was kind of trying to, I think, figure out what was going on. Teammates, though, are all around. This could be a huge bait. He might die, but it might be for a good cause. We'll have to see if there's any follow-up from the rest of his teammates here. Buff and Joy is coming on through to try to engage this. They have superior numbers in this area. And indeed, there is the trade onto Saint.
He just wanted to get through that door. He just wanted to get away to the safety of his team. He's not going to have a chance. And now Buff Enjoyers, will they push this right-hand side, look for this Walker. It's only ABL to defend on it at the moment, as Task's going to rotate over to help out in a few seconds. They don't really have anything to shut down ABL either. Let's leave his Affliction will be coming online relatively soon. Here we go, Zergy. We get some very good damage here with the Infinite
I was going to say, noob question. I look up and I see 24 underneath Zergy's name. Everyone else, teens. Shouldn't he just dominate this lobby right now?
I wouldn't necessarily say so. I think like Gun Ivy takes a long time to get online to the point that you could carry. There's a lot of like butter heroes you could get at this point with that amount of souls of a lead compared to their opponents. But it does make him pretty hard to deal with when it comes to taking these walkers. You can already see he took about, I want to say, a third of the damage off the walker with that push alone. But he's nowhere in a position to just solo carry this game.
Who's ready for a ride?
Yeah, he's kind of like Mirage in one respect, because he can do insane amounts of damage really fast and then just pop his ult and fly away. So it's really irritating for that reason. Oh, the chase on the Billy though here is looking rather problematic. Oh, jab side getting whittled away by that hyper beam, but he's still able to survive for now at least. Eventually does get taken out. There's the bounces coming in here from a Sharik, trying to disrupt this fight there with the Viscous. And I don't know, if there's enough around this, he's gonna have to get out of there, and he's gonna do exactly that. And the urn has been collected by Abrahams, and they actually might be able to deposit it potentially. Actually, as I say that, 3 players from Buff Enjoys just killed the Walker on that right side, so might not be able to deposit it anytime soon.
Yeah, worthy trade. They lose one player. Actually, they technically trade 1 for 1. But if they lose their left lane Walker, then it's not going to be a trade they're going to be favoring too much. The mid lane Walker going to be already be attacked by these minions, so there's a good chance we could see Buff Enjoyers rotate to there and let the urn get turned in instead. And it seems like that might be what they're doing. But the problem is, like, Shark, he needs backup on this left lane Walker. That's going to fall, and no one's coming over to help him out. So he's going to have to give this one up, which gives a flex slot over to Abrahams. And now Buff Enjoyers, they need to put the pain on here if they want to make this worth it.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking the mid Walker instead. That was a calculation. They saw how many players were on the minimap to the left side. They're like, okay, we'll trade out the mid Walker instead. And that urn, it still couldn't get taken in. So that urn is still a live element in this next potential team fight. It could be the decisive fight here that could swing into a mid boss. So both teams need to be very cautious. And right now, Buff Enjoyers do have that soul edge. And in fact, you know what? This is what we talked about. Sometimes these teams just figure it out. Okay, we can just do mid boss, and it's getting deleted.
Oh, Hoot's already spotted it out though as well from the side. Obviously already hearing the mid boss cry. Silence Wave on top of this to prevent any sort of shout transformation to come through. The parry's gonna be landing as well as the stone form, and Demon Minobi can actually take away 2 of the crystals, and they burn the one out of Abraham. So the buff's completed on the side of Buff Enjoyers here for this. You can see Zergy just kind of trapped in the middle of the team here in that pit, trying to deal with the Mo and Krill in his face, but they're gonna chase him directly in towards this alley and look for more kills as Task gets caught out, left alone from his team. Buff Enjoyers, they completely capitalize on top of this and are going to come out massively ahead.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's so huge. That's going to be such a comfort for Buff Enjoyers, and especially because they already got rid of that mid Walker. They only have to focus on 1 Walker now as well. Big trouble here. And also, not to mention that, Jason, the entire map almost, in terms of neutral creeps, are up at the moment. So there is immense soul value and objective value that's just going to go to Buff Enjoyers, and I don't think there's all that much Abrahams can do to stop it. They're even going to get the urn.
Yeah, they get 2 flex slots and the urn on top of this. A big bump in souls for them. I mean, Zergy, he's at 5k and he's going to continue to grow here as he just takes away every piece of farm he possibly can. A big swing, and honestly, Dan, it's looking like we're for sure going to have a map 3 here. Abrahams don't really seem to have an answer for this. They don't have ABL to carry them through, having a 12,000 soul lead over the rest of his teammates, and Zergy sitting at almost 32k. It's kind of a reversal of fates here between these 2 teams. Yeah, and this is all the cleanup that's happening right now from Zergy. He's just going to annihilate as much as of the opposing jungle as he has time to do. Well, actually, he's in his own jungle right now. My bad. He can buy a tier 4 though. He's got 7k in the bank. But he's not done with that. He wants even more. Yeah, that damage output is pretty scary at this point. What is the next item? I'm curious. He wants to buy 2 tier 4 items at once. Yeah. All right, let's see what it is. What's he going to pick up? Obviously, we should be able to see that on the Siphon. Okay, Siphon bullets. All right. Oh, I thought he already had Siphon bullets. Well, now he does. Extra bullet resist helps out quite a bit here, especially extra stacks he can get as well.
Okay,
I'm
so
trying to think.
yes,
What's like a way for Abrahams to get back in to this game? I mean, 25,000 souls is quite a bit. It's already like a sizable amount, but against buff enjoyers, it feels like it's almost 40k at that point. And we're not that late into the game, so 25,000 souls is still quite hefty.
yeah. The problem now too is
The team's safe.
Zergi's damage. It's gotten to that point. You're saying, you know, it takes a while for Ivy to get online to carry. He's kind of at that point now where he can do so much burst damage, the other team can't respond.
Gotta be careful. He's kind of by himself over here in mid. Just have his teammates to help him out if needed. And they're actually all just sitting. Are they just baiting? They're all just waiting off towards the side on the right-hand side of the jungle. And we can see Abraham's doing something really similar here. Invading very deep into buff enjoyer's side. And a
Yeah,
42? Okay.
Taking each other's sides. He wants to be more tanky, I suppose. We could get more HP.
A courier has arrived.
To get the Colossus.
And the rejuice still has like a fifth of the time left. And this would be the ideal time to force a fight right before it falls off. You can see ABL, he's like in the enemy jungle. I think Obi can spot him out. Saint is behind the urn as well. They're completely separated and out of position here. They have to be very careful what's going to happen. Crushing Fist even picked up now for Shark. And you can see they want to get control of this urn. They already have position up here as well. They have the door down to prevent it from being turned in easily. And the card going to take him completely away from the turn-in.
There we go. This is a big moment here. The cube. Oh, that's a close save. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive it. Oh my god, 1 HP dead. Okay, well, the rest of the fight will continue without Sharik in the picture. Low players, multiple low players here for Abrahams. We'll see if they can keep them up for now because Zergi is in the fight and he's melting people at the moment. But it's looking kind of challenging here for buff enjoyers to get the kills as quickly as they want. Good fight or movement in the fight here from Abrahams, trying to make this as difficult as possible, but inevitably another player or two going down for Abrahams. And buff enjoyers, they keep everybody up. Almost everybody.
Yeah, I think Shark died right after the reju fell. An interesting setup we did see though, and of Abrahams to deny it. I like the use of the luggage cart to keep Shark away at ABL. He did try to assassinate Shark in the back, which he did accomplish, but it also cost him his affliction. That's a lot of damage you could be doing to the enemy side, especially if the fight extends for a long period of time. Damn, 40k difference too. We went from 25k to 40 in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only going to get worse as time goes on. It feels like for buff enjoyers, all they have to do now is just, you know, wait for that mid boss. If they want to keep it as safe as possible, and they could essentially use the mid boss to either bait the fight, or if there's no fight because Abrahams are too afraid, then they get their mid boss and they win. So it's almost one of those spots where you're forced to take a bad fight. Nice hook, nice connection. Wow, that's really a great find there. And hey,
is Hoot the best hooker in the game?
I mean, he was definitely pricey for that buyout from one win.
Facts. Look at the goo ball chat. Did you come up with a nickname for him yet? Let it be known before this game is done. We're going to a game 3. You were right 16 minutes ago.
I mean, it's looking like it. ABL's just pushing out the left lane, trying to shove this wave in towards the base guard, so maybe they can get a flex slot or get some early damage in onto this. And they realize they can't fight like 6v6. They need to get catches. But how are you going to catch when the enemy team has like the perma stealth out of Obikim? And then also a Veil Walkering Hoot. Like it's really hard to gain positions to gain information when you're against like all the stealth the enemy side has.
It's dangerous in the city.
Well, congregation in middle for both teams at this point. Yeah, that mid boss is coming up very, very shortly, and so these kills are going to go a long way. Kill on the doorman. Everyone's going to drop into the mid boss room, take down the mid boss. I don't know if the mid boss has a name. Does the mid boss have a name in the lore?
Call him Steve.
Steve. All right. Well, Steve is going to be unceremoniously vanquished. And there comes down the rejuice. Is anyone going to come in for it? There we go. Everyone's coming on in. Everybody's coming on in. And in fact, he's going to pick these up. Abraham's actually managed to pick up one there, two, three. Three for Abrams. That's not a bad shout, all things considered. But two of them immediately are going to get dealt with as one goes to Buff Enjoyers, and they are still ahead of the game.
I think Buff Enjoyers are trying not to lose any of them as well. As long as they can keep this one alive, then they're going to have the buff for the team. You see Zergy was caught out by the combo, but this is a stone form to get away, and Saint is just trying to run for his dear life, and Shark will go down. So now all the credits be completely gone, but honestly, it's going all the way at Buff Enjoyers here, only losing one player up against the four out of Abraham's. I think this is going to spell like the beginning of the end here. There should be shrines, and I would assume first stage patron.
I mean, that was I feel like that was like one of the best possible attempts that they could have had, because with a 40+ K soul difference, they actually got some kills. They stole a bunch of rejuice. They nullified the mid boss essentially. So I feel like they did the best they possibly could there.
I mean, yeah, there's no way they were going to defend against Buff Enjoyers having 4 rejuice pushing into their base. So I completely agree with you on this one. But I mean, this, like, what can they do to come back? A Sounds Wave into a hook. You're not going to escape this one into a Periscope swap. Saint, this man has been bullied this entire game, like me in high school. Eventually, he will fall. And Buff Enjoyers, with a massive man advantage, can get these shrines in the first stage patron for sure.
Well, they just get pulled into the fountain. No. Oh, into the fountain, into the Baroness's hotel. He is leaving the hotel. Oh my god. So
Even in a body bag.
Focus on Zergy. He deserves it, let's be honest. He deserves it.
They're not done though. Even with Zergy down, their big damage. I still feel like they can fight this one, and why not? Task gets caught out. I mean, the first stage patron is still going to be there. They still have one more shrine to take down at least. I didn't see if the first one was taken, but it just seems inevitable at this point, Dan. Like, this is going all the way. This is going to the 3 maps yet again.
Totally, and it's that draft adjustment that we saw that made all the difference. And that's why this game is actually very interesting at the esports level, because these drafts are really important, and you learn throughout the series. So each, best of 3 is a tale.
The old man has been pushed out of his chair yet again.
Punch him in the face!
As he lays down on the floor, saying, "Help, I've fallen and I can't get up."
Can you imagine uppercutting an old man who got knocked to the floor? I can see Kaplan just 6'7", swinging his long arms.
That's how I do my free time, right?
Beat up
Big
the
catch on the
oldies.
D-Mob, though. This is actually a big fight for Abraham's here. If they can close down these kills, it'll be a massive comeback in terms of souls. Who does take the kill onto Saf, though? Gemside looking for another maybe avenue to fight with, and Abraham's, they're still so far ahead. So far behind when it comes to souls. They're not really able to close out these kills quick enough.
Doing their best, and again, like, honestly, it really is. I feel like they're getting way more than you would ever expect them to. But back in Zergy, 4,200 health, 4,400 health actually at max with the Siphon Bullets, just stealing that health away. You just can't kill him at this point. And that's a wrap. We're getting the GG called by Saf there. And Zergy, is he going to backdoor? He's just running to the enemy base.
Wait, he's got rebuttal. I just noticed this. I think this is the first time ever in a competitive match in Fight Night or the Night Shift we've seen a rebuttal actually bought.
Tell me about rebuttal.
Oh, you reduce your parry cooldown. You do damage when you parry a successful melee. And I believe you heal as well when you have a successful parry.
Lovely.
Good against Viscas, but not going to win you a game, as Buff Enjoyers do take it to the 3rd and final map of the series. A complete 180 from the last match, and dominates just as hard as Abrams did in match 1.
There's a whole bunch of 2-0s when these two teams first met. Now we have game 3s, and we are enjoying it here in the chat. As DDK said, it might come down to the draft in this final game. It definitely looked like removing the Kelvin gave an edge to the Buff Enjoyers. But DDK, was it just the Kelvin? What impact did you see in the draft, and what should we look forward to knowing that game 3 is around the corner?
I mean, the Viscous Ivy definitely was a huge hit, because not only were they able to find that lane pairing against where ABL was, and that's a super dominant lane which did its job. They were also able to shut down the Dorman play because they managed to take the Bebop away, and they were able to just suppress that impact and not really give a good combo with him. So I think there's multiple things that Buff and Joyous did with the draft that was really smart and worked out for them. And I think the Viscous has to be something that gets perhaps banned.
I was over in the YouTube chat and everyone is showing love to Hoot. His hooks have been incredible. So many yoinks, so many yanks, just bringing opponents right into his lap. Jason Kaplan, is the Bebop going to survive?
Yeah, Bebop's not worthy of a ban, I think, with the current state of the game. I mean, if you think back to the bans, it was a Great Talon first ban out of Buff and Joyous, followed up by an Abraham's Kelvin ban. I think the pick order of this game was a massive impact in terms of the ban order as well, considering Buff and Joyous got first pick this time instead of second pick and getting 2 for themselves. Abrahams felt like they had to ban the Kelvin out, not wanting to see Buff and Joyous pick it up. And when we get into the third map, I think it's going to go back to Abraham's getting first pick, which comes down to Buff and Joyous. Are you going to ban an Ivy yet again? Or are you going to ban the Kelvin or maybe something else? Because the pocket was just non-existent this game. That was an amazing luggage cart Hobie came there.
Yeah, I was going to say, we see some nice plays from Saf on the doorman. That is now 2 games in a row. Does he make an appearance in a third game, DDK? Is it worth making that investment?
I think we would probably see. I think it's interesting. I think it might be an opportunistic pick, maybe late into the draft if it kind of works out and it can combo with something. But I don't think it's going to get prioritized in the third map. As my guess.
Here's the Bebop. Some big beams from Hoot. Serious hooks. Dominance in the team fights as it's Buff and Joyous enjoying an early lead and never allowing their opponents back in this game. If you've watched the 2 teams in the past, though, it's either landslides like this or insane comebacks normally from Buff and Joyous. Can you give me a prediction, Jason Kaplan? How does game 3 play out?
We're going the full distance. We're going 67 minutes in.
67,
a nail biter
okay.
the entire way through.
Yep. Everyone has bought everything from the store.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have a 2-minute pause, so it's pretty much an overall 69-minute game.
Perfect. Nice.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a nail biter for sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give our producers and the players a moment to use the restroom. When we come back, it is game 3 of your EU final. Someone's walking away with another $1,000 here on night shift number 6. Close that browser tab and open up a new one. It's time to calculate some numbers here, as it looks like Zergy has 3 highlighted categories. The man had the biggest number, the most souls early in the game. Did he have the biggest impact, DDK, or who would you award MVP from the Buff Enjoyers?
I think for me it's probably this is really hard. For me, it's between Sharik and Hoots probably. I feel like I would lean Sharik just because the impact on the lane. Like, he was the reason why Zergy was able to get off to a great start. Zergy looks inflated because that's kind of just how his role works towards the end games. He just did his job, but his job is not able to be possible unless Sharik does his. And Sharik's job also shut down ABL. So I feel like I'm going to give Sharik the most impactful play.
Oscar Grusicki says you're wrong. It was Hoot and Zergy. Let's talk about the other side here. Abraham's winning map number 1, getting the losing end of that fight for map number 2. Kaplan, was this just an issue from the start of the game? Was it a draft problem? What went wrong for the Abrahams in game 2?
What did go wrong? I mean, if you compare it to the first game, they didn't have a dominating lane. Yeah, they didn't have a single dominating lane, it seemed. They didn't have ABL getting very far ahead on the pocket with like an early adjusted leap, as we talked about before. But like Zergy was able to have a stronger start. He got really punished in that last game, or in the first game of the series, not able to really do too much, not really able to get ahead and farm up like Jamside was doing in the prior one. I think a lot of it was just about a control and about where they were kind of like fighting on the map. We talked a lot about like early cultists being picked up for Abrahams in the first game, taking a lot of the jungle away. Didn't see much of that this time because I felt like they were more on the back foot and weren't able to really flex across that halfway point that often.
That early damage paying dividends for the boys on the Buff Enjoyers. Let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket if we can, Solomon. A lot of folks chiming in about what's going on with the sneaky golems. Are they here? No. The golems have a player who is unavailable tonight, but DMB is showing up with the boys on the Baroness Hotel, picking up players from all of your favorite squads, going up against Matt's fan club. Winner of that will take on Hydra Nation, our 4-time champion here on Night Shift, going in to week 6. Right now, though, it's game 3. Buff Enjoyers, Abrahams. We've seen them trade games. We've had a short game, a long game. I have a feeling this one is going to be another 28-plus minuter. Let's get into it right now as it's Abrahams on the ban first. Let's see what they do. DDK, do you get rid of the Viscous?
I feel like you do. I feel like you get rid of Viscous. Too good. It's just too good. Even non-Demo fans, too good.
So sticky. So powerful.
So gooey.
The survivability has been ridiculous. We talked about Talon getting first picked 4 times of 6 games last week. Well, he's been banned now, the last 2 back-to-back. Abrahams with their ban. Now it's Buff Enjoyer's turn. Jason Kaplan, expectations.
I say just ban Kelvin. Just be safe with it. They picked Kelvin Shiv. Or they went for the Kelvin Shiv last time. Hurt. Yeah. Just don't deal with it. You know how to counter it, but it's just easier to take it away than to have to play a certain style to stop it.
Okay, so do Abrahams steal the Viscous away, or do they go the same direction they went last time? That's what I am curious as to.
You grab the goo.
Yeah, I don't know if Abrahams. I mean, I don't know if they value it that much, but for the steal, okay, they're going to steal the Ivy. Okay, because that was the first.
The gun Ivy is that good? What is it about this Ivy? Because that was first pick for Buff Enjoyers game 2. Now we see first pick for Abrahams, Jason Kaplan.
I think it's just about the safety of Ivy. We don't see Wraith anymore. You hardly see 7 that often anymore. If you're talking about like hyper carry, gun carries, Ivy's going to be safe. So's a Billy because they have like some movement abilities for Billy or the stone form for Ivy. I think it's just about comfortability. And Jam side we know plays a lot of Ivy as a gun as well. So yeah, I mean with Kelvin being taken away and with Great Tom being taken away, it seems like a solid first pick.
And I would add as well that I think it's like a better version of Mirage in some senses because Ivy's really good at clearing enemy jungle really fast. And you can split push with the safety of the ult and do damage to the towers really fast. So that's very impressive too.
But you didn't give him, or you gave him the Viscous. Game's over.
Give it the Viscous.
It's been decided by chat. Am I wrong, chat? What does Abrahams need to pull out here for you to have faith in the team that won game number 1?
I mean, so they were prioritizing Pocket. I don't think they're at risk of Pocket getting taken. So I feel like they could even leave Pocket to maybe like a little bit deeper in the picks and try to just work around. I mean, the Billy pickup is really good, but what do they fear getting banned is you know, what I would probably want to be picking here. I'm not sure what that would be, Jason.
What about like Paradox to be picked as a 3rd? Or Doorman if you want to go into the Bebop Doorman combo again.
The Bebop stolen from Hoot?
That's huge.
So you might
that opens up Doorman for them.
Yeah, and you might try to force a Doorman ban out of Buff Enjoyers with this. You kind of like force their hand. And if you ban like Paradox as well, then you're really forcing Buff Enjoyers to play with only on holidays. So I think the Bebop ban or pick in particular is to really throw a spanner in the works when it comes to this next round of bans.
Paradox is in. You called it. Jason Kaplan, Sketchy J wants to know, why do you look like the dad from Inside Out?
I've never seen the movie.
It's a movie about feelings. Like. You should check it out with your lady after this.
I have no feelings. I am Dan as well. I am a robot.
We are all Dan. We all feel Dan's feels. Yeah, we're having some good times here on the stream. The players are getting rid of Mo and Krill. They hate Aussie Lions. Brand new skin, a skin we launched for free. The modded skin is available thanks to the Deadlock community here at Night Shift. If you want some details, ask Jason Kaplan to put some plugs in the chat that bring up the Nightbot command. It's pretty sick.
I can see it. I looked it up real quick just to see what he looks like. Yeah. I know what I'm doing for Christmas.
Perfect. Done.
Christmas, but Halloween.
Yeah, I was going to say, whatever you're into, brother. They need Kelvin to win again. Abrahams have no shot without a Kelvin. That's a strong opinion from 4976. Is it accurate?
No. See, look, there it is. Yeah. So the doorman gets stolen from the. That's really cool. So, like I said, Who has spammed a lot of doorman games. So I could see a world where Who plays the doorman because, you know, Bebop's gone as well. Obviously, Who can play a lot of different heroes. Pocket would actually be one of them too, and that's also been banned. So and also the GT's been banned. So actually, some of his hero pool has been banned or taken away. And the Mina comes in, which is also in Hoot's current hero pool. So that's actually a huge pickup, I think, for Abrahams.
You talk about you're seeing Hoot play Dorman a lot on stream. I as well have seen him playing a lot of Dorman on stream, except he's made sounds that I think only dogs can hear, with the screeches and yells and banging of his desk when he dies because of messing up or something like that. So I'm curious to see how it's going to play here. But with the Lash not being banned away by Buff Enjoyers yet again, like this is the third game and the first time it's not been banned. Right. We're going to see Sap pick it up for Abrahams.
The Lash finally making it in to the EU final. Welcome aboard. The burly man with a fantastic mustache who looks just like Jason Kaplan in a tank top.
I grew it out a little bit more and can tweak it up
is
like
voluminous.
Voluptuous. Oh yeah, he's got a lot of volume to him. We've got Hayes back in the game.
So we had a Capacitor Hayes and a Capacitor Ivy last game at a Buff Enjoyers. Capacitor would be a very strong pickup for Abrahams here. I wish I knew more about what Capacitor took away from the previous squad, because if you're investing 2, there's obviously something I don't know of what it does deny from the enemy team. But to see a 7 picked up, so we're going to see Zergy on 7, it looks like here. D-Mob on Paradox, Shark again on Viscous, then Hoot on the Doorman. We don't really see 7 that much anymore. We did see it in our best of 1, but it didn't work out. But with the way Zergy was playing the last game, of just farming up constantly, it's gonna fit perfectly for this.
So Zergy's playing on the 7, right? We think Hoot plays the Doorman. Do you go Gunman? Is asking the chat. Is that the move here?
Seems to be the build. Honestly, I'm not afraid to admit I'm not familiar enough with what a Doorman will build. I can only base off what we saw
I don't
today.
think that's his name. All right, Holiday is locked in. We're going to see some whips, maybe a few lassos. It's going to get weird. Put on your hats. It's time to party, ladies and gentlemen. Night shift. It's Deadlock. It's week 6. It's your EU final. Will we have a tie between our champions, or is it a 4-2 lead for Buff Enjoyers as we complete the draft page? DDK, we're pretty fired up for this one. $1,000 presented by Intel on the line between these two squads. But more importantly, these are the two teams that are not afraid to showcase the new comps, the newest metas in Deadlock. If you could narrow in on 2 players from each side, who would you put the microscope on?
I would say D-Mov if he's on the Viscous, and I would be, if Hoot's on the Doorman, that would be it for Buff Enjoyers. And for Abrahams, I don't know. That's all on you, Jason. I got one team. You get the other one.
I want to give it to Saf.
Yeah.
For Abraham.
I
don't know who's going to be on Mina necessarily, but I want to see Saf finally get the Lash, show us what he can do here in this game, and take the series for themselves.
We're over 650 subs as we come to an end here at September. Make sure you take advantage of the up to 30% off discount available on twitch.tv/Deadlock Night Shift. We're plugging the plugs because the game's not ready. The EU players taking a last-minute bathroom break before we're ready to jump into this one. Most impactful character: Billy, Viscous, Ivy, Paradox, Kaplan.
I was just gonna say, are you gonna go around naming all the heroes?
I was thinking about it.
In this one,
I don't know how long I have to fill.
Most impact, I think it's gotta be Bebop. It's gotta come down to hooks, right? For TAS, if that is your impact, is hitting these hooks and opening up plays for your team. Out of both these rosters, I think that's the most impactful hero you're gonna look at. Doorman, again, we're trying to figure out necessarily what you would classify his role in, but the doors can obviously open up potential for paradoxical swaps, though you do kind of say goodbye to your paradox if that happens.
Spark it and burn it down, ladies and gentlemen. It is game number 3. Buff Enjoyers taking on the Abrahams. We're talking about cigars. It's mob-like, guys. Get with the theme. Back over to DDK.
And I have an answer in response to your question, I think, Jason, about the capacitor. Because obviously it's an upgrade to Tesla bullets. So Tesla bullets typically gets picked up on the farm heroes. But one of the aspects to the upgrade with capacitor is I think that these players might be buying it because it will help to counter the Veil Walker. Because if someone goes invis and you hit the active on capacitor on them, I think it removes, because it removes debuffs. Sorry, it removes buffs. Sorry, I should say. So I think it might remove that buff and effectively counter the Veil Walker shenanigans.
It also does apply a strong slow over time too. So it makes it really hard for anyone to escape you, or allows you to escape if you can hit it too. So yeah, that's definitely an avenue for it. And I really wish I knew like all the breakdowns. So I remember seeing a post a couple of months ago when it first came around to like what it all did, what it could take away, but I can't seem to find that link anymore. Maybe someone in chat can help me with that one. But yeah, I mean, definitely a possibility since Veilwalker's coming into its own. Maybe that's why we're seeing the capacitors being used.
Yep, and I think it's also an interesting development because it could just be efficiency, whereas people will buy slowing hex, but that is a slot, and capacitor is just an upgrade to something that you might be getting already that gives you the slow.
I mean, I'm honestly kind of surprised. Like, maybe I'm in the wrong on this one, but I'm kind of surprised to see Ivy go for Tesla, because Ivy doesn't need it. Like, with the Kutsu bomb alone, you kind of kill camps very, very quick. So you don't really need the proc to help you clear camps even faster. But there's got to be something I don't know about the build that Zergy went for in particular.
Well, I think Zergy's also like a particular just fan.
Well, he was a Tesla hater originally.
Oh, he was a hater originally? Oh,
yeah, he was a Tesla hater. He would never buy it.
Okay. There must be a really good reason then. Oh, the damage is kind of nice. We've still seen that headshot booster coming on in pretty quickly for the harass. It's all about pressure, stealing away these creeps as well, potentially.
And they're keeping Tass on the back foot here. You saw Sak had to go back to base to heal. And just trying to keep these off angles. Just got to be very careful you don't get hooked in. And we're going back to Shark is going to be on the Viscous. Dimov will be indeed on the Paradox. So Shark and Zerg going to be tagging together yet again on the left hand side. So Hook comes in onto Hoot, and he will just back away to safety. Not too much threat to get a kill on him just yet.
Oh, good damage coming out from Hoot, and almost like not getting the kill is actually almost more impactful. You almost want to die there, because if you're on 1 HP, you can't do anything. Good parry coming on through. Oh, a double tap, a reverse parry, and it is 180. It's a 180 turn of events.
That was just a misplay by Saf. He should have known the time it took him to actually charge that first heavy melee. There's no way you're getting a second one off in time before he could parry again. That was just a misplay. But that's unfortunate because he's down at 1.7k, Tass at 1.7. And I think we're going to see Buff and George just quickly back to base because there's no waves to kill. So you're not really going to miss out on too much. They don't have the boost just yet, though. This is a big lead already starting in the mid.
Dude, Abrams must have to spend a lot of money tailoring those suits, man. When you are that jacked. That is all custom.
Didn't you used to be like that, jacked? I'm pretty sure I remember seeing pictures of you when you were just like hench.
I don't know. It's gone up and down over the years, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm in a big down right now, to be honest.
Well, it looks like this Viscous lane once again is proving to be pretty effective. The Sharik Zergy combo. And yeah, confirming it. Yes, Hoot indeed is on a doorman. So it'll be fun to see how that plays out. He might bring a different approach to the game than we saw previously.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. That's surprising. I don't think that looked to really catch Obikim off guard there.
It caught us off guard. I think it caught the observers off guard too. I didn't know how he got low. And those suits might be going back to Taylor once again here. Listic's gonna fall. And honestly, I think this is exactly what Abrahams needed. It was looking really grim in the mid lane.
Those barrels, man. Holiday is pretty strong, man. To throw the barrels like that. It's kind of like reminds me of an event you might see at a strongman competition, like barrel throwing or something.
Yeah. Well, we came down again though. Not a good start here for him in particular. Those Zerg get 4,000 souls already. He's gonna be happy about this. Oh, the Q comes in just in time to keep him alive. So not Task. It's gonna be Saf on the chase. I thought it was going to be... So I didn't even notice until now. I thought Saf was going to be on the Lash, but it's actually going to be same playing Lash. And I want to say, I'm going to check my database really quickly. This is the first time we've seen him play Lash.
I say Paradox.
Just taking a cursory glance on the farm, and ABL is actually looking pretty nice on the Mina right now. definitely doing a good job. And Mina, I do wonder at this level if Mina is somewhat feast or famine. Maybe like the power spike timing is super important to get right. And to do so, you need to be ahead. So we'll see, because we saw Mina previously with Hoot, and it was extremely underwhelming. And we're getting some good farm here, 5.2k on the souls. Early days, of course, but the most wealthy player on the server for now.
Can't confirm this is the first game for Saint on Lash, at least within Deadlock Fight Night and the Night Shift. So we're seeing some pretty big switch ups here. You already see that Shark working towards the express shot. I mean, Saint, he's been a big playmaker. I can think back to like one of his Dynamo games, and he was phenomenal. Some of the black holes he was hitting, and he's proven to be a really good playmaker on Kelvin. But I'm curious to see how his Lash is going to be, because it's a different kind of playmaker, and it definitely has a different kind of skill ceiling to it.
Nice hook. That is a strong hook. You don't often see the protective hooks as much as you see the other variety.
I think most bebops who play in matchmaking don't know you can use it to save teammates.
True. I love the Veilwalker. I think the Veilwalker introduces a lot of really cool stuff. Mina bearing down on them with the Nox Nostra. Getting those love bites in there as well. Extra damage.
Oh.
Goodbye. I just love it. How can you not love Doorman?
Oh my god, that time wall to D-Mob just saved him. The lasso couldn't go through it in time. And D-Mob lives to fight another day and protect his Guardian, it seems. You know, on the note of ABL, as it looks like he might be able to pull off. Oh my god, he just got charged through the door. ABL just got wrecked.
I wonder if we can get replay of that later. Doorman is just too fun. It's just too fun. Okay, so first mid Guardian's gone down in favor of Abraham's, taking down that mid tower. No other tower is particularly close to getting removed, so this does give a decisive advantage to Abraham's. And 7.3k souls for Mina. So still keeping on track is ABL on the farm. And this is kind of what I was talking about before. The Mina, once Mina gets going in the early game, in like the transition into the jungle invades can be pretty difficult to deal with. Because Mina's pretty efficient at sort of stealing farm and obviously killing you in a 1v1 because of the nature of the ult and being able to get out again. So just a dangerous presence on the map. But we'll see how the stylistic choices of ABL here, looking to continue farming for now.
Oh my god. What a pair out of Hoot. Decisive slam on top and to knock together down. Tries to send him into the Baroness. He doesn't have the stamina.
Oh, it barely made it there. Just barely.
I want to bring up a topic actually for us to discuss. Because you can talk about Letha. Mechanically skilled, ridiculous aim. For me, ABL isn't one of like the most necessarily crazy aimers, but his mechanical skill when it comes to like abilities is ridiculous, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just sort of understanding how to use abilities, like the infight decision making with abilities. Is that what you mean?
Like he's really good at aiming his abilities and using his abilities in succession properly. He's like just as mechanically skilled as like Lefa, but with abilities instead of aim.
Right. That's kind of like building in Fortnite, where it's like the skill is to use the skill.
Yeah.
That's
like Spirit Heroes, it's not about
worst
aim,
thing
right?
I've ever explained. It's like,
I got you. I get what you mean. But it's like you know, with Gun Heroes, you're about your tracking and your aiming. But with like Pockets, you're about using your abilities and like precisely and knowing the times to go in. Just completely different skill sets, I'd say, between the two.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Positioning, timing. And, oh, hello. Okay, Mina's in a little bit of trouble getting some damage, but able to reposition there back into the mid lane. And a fight going on the left side, though. It looks like a 3v3 on the left side of the map at the moment. Buff Enjoyers looking like they are pushing away Abrahams on that left side, maybe going for a chase as they pick up the urn. So the urn has been claimed by them. It's just that 10-minute urn, though, so how much emphasis do you want to place on this? In the meantime, a fight over control for the right side lane.
Yeah, Listic needs some help. No backup going to be there. And he's dead, which means they have no real way to contest or, sorry, to turn in this urn. If anything, they're just using it to defend and deny it away. He's actually going to aggressive on this. Like, Together's not really low enough to go for the kill. But if he gets the stun onto him, it might have been possible. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Gets the sleep dagger just in the nick of time, but not out of the woods just yet. Might still go down because Billy has come back. And that's another kill for the Billy on the streak. In fact, Together might be getting dangerous pretty soon.
And Turkey tries to commit with the Guardian, knowing he would go down. This is getting rough, actually. I mean, I didn't realize that. It's like a 10,000 soul difference here in favor of Abrahams. And the urn. I mean, this might bait Buff and Jars into a fight that they really don't want to take. You see the doors being thrown down, but he can't get it in time. Abiel secures the kill, and the urn is still right under them to be turned in.
Yeah, that was like a
10K
series
is 14.
of plays that just went absolutely tits up for Buff and Jars. In an uncharacteristic way, almost. And now it's a pretty big difference. 12k and lost. Guardian is going to go down as well. Okay, this is becoming quite difficult.
Oh,
the catch again.
Yeah, he's at 7.7. He's on poverty souls for sure. Even 7.6 as he lost 100 soul bag. I mean, the build he was using before, I don't know if it really is valuable anymore. I feel like you almost have to transition into that supporty kind of build. With like slowing Hex would be really good to deal with Saint so he can't get away, as well as ABL. Listic might even fall from this. He's being chased down. Trying to retreat towards the safety of his teammates. And the Decisive extends and again some distance. Passes by a door. And it looks like he will survive in this one. But it's really starting to feel like this game is teetering on a knife's edge. That if Abrahams just get like 1 or 2 more kills to start transitioning to some walkers, I don't know if you can stop that rot.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's very problematic, and the fact that Oberkim has been getting caught like this, this is a testament to Abraham's ability to pressure and invade, and that's how the style of the game is being played right now. It's just constant invades everywhere, and find fights constantly. Here is Mina being a nuisance. I love the sound of Mina's gun. Just like it's like a just I don't know, like throwing something wet on the ground.
I kind of hear that actually, like little water balloons, but like really quickly, like rapid fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but either way, the hooks have been glorious tonight, no matter who's on the Bebop, Hoot, or Taz. Looking to pursue. Big fight coming on through. Abraham's looking to chase away in Buff Enjoyers, who are not really having a good time of it right now. They have recovered some of the soul difference, but it's looking for sure to be a challenging moment as the map control is with Abrahams right now, and that gives them more capacity to start invasions.
You know, Dan, if we're talking sound effects, I think most people already know this one, but in League of Legends, there's a hero called Zac, who pretty similar to Viscous. He was like this giant slime man, and a lot of the sound effects they got for him was the team putting beans inside of a condom and like slapping it around.
I knew
and,
this was going to be about sex.
How does nothing to do with sex?
Wait, you don't use condoms for sex?
What? I don't put beans in condoms. I put other things in them.
I'm not judging.
I put maybe some sausages, but not beans.
Yeah, it's a very weird mixture of things. I would like to move on from this conversation now.
What conversation? We're talking about the urn. Hyper beam on top, doing some really good damage onto Hoot, and Saint will get the kill as he's able to chase him down. The urn going to be looked to pick up out of Abrahams, and they should very well be able to, leaving ABL back to defend any sort of split push on this left lane walker. This is just going from bad to worse now. I mean, not just our casting, but this game, it is getting becoming an insurmountable lead right now for Abrahams.
Yeah, it's certainly really a struggle, that's for sure. Again, with the quality of both teams, at this point, there's no way you count them out, but it does feel like it's trending Abrahams more and more. The trajectory that they have is looking better overall. They've got all the map control at the moment, just clearing up some of the creeps. You have the urn in play. This could be an interesting one if they decide to really go for this, given that it is a defensive, or rather I should say, it's on the territory of their opponents for the urn turn in. That's a fight that you absolutely want to take if you're Buff and Joyous. So Abrahams could threaten it, and they're kind of forcing Buff and Joyous to respect the positioning and to like try to rally around that. Ooh, trying to get the catch with the lasso. It's a whiff though.
This is really
the
tough
lasso and the hook is scary, isn't it?
Yeah,
Scary
there's so much to watch out for, but also on Buff and Joyer's side, they only really have like 1 or 2 heroes that are decently fed, and Demov on a Paradox isn't necessarily who you want it to be on. I mean, Zergy's at 20k, but he's got 3 opponents pretty close to him in souls. A lot of pressure's going on to the trackball man, to rain down death to his enemies from above. And this urn, it looks like it actually might be turned in for Abrahams. They're starting to position for it. They also do have the push on the right lane walker. I think you got to be careful about this. You don't want to overcommit to it, and you can get a free walker for yourself.
Yeah, Lash playing the rooftops here. Wow, he can move fast. He can move real fast. He's like a free runner, jumping all along the rooftops. But his teammates have been left in a pretty gnarly position. Together's just like caught out there. Gets annihilated by Buff and Joyous. But at least I guess the urn is out of play for now, as far as Abrahams are concerned. But this just really forced the positioning of Buff and Joyous. They had to really just guard that spot on the map. And in the meantime, Mina's been farming up. So ABL's up to 22k souls. So he's able to increase his lead. And I mean, Jason, this is a really big problem.
Yeah, Abrahams, they lose 1 player and they get the walker. ABL at 22, Jamside at 21. Like there's the double threat. And Zergy's really the only threat on the side of Buff and Joyous. Oh, we can at 12k. Like Shark at 13k. Yeah, I know Viscus can use the cube and that can be helpful for your team. But he's just not going to quite have the damage of like a Demob Viscus that we would have at this point. Then again, Demob would maybe have more souls in the situation. But I honestly feel like it's Abraham's game to throw here. They're really committing a lot to trying to turn this urn and try to control where Buff and Joyous are going to be, but they already got the objective on the right-hand side of the map. What are you really accomplishing from this? And the longer Saint holds this, the closer to death he's going to become. He's already missing 750 HP from holding on to this urn. And he's just going to wait it out and go back to base.
All right, well, see if anything can go here for Overkim on the haze. There's the quick paradoxical swap coming on through, trying to catch Taz, but it might actually be a problem because the rest of Buff and Joyous are ready to fight for this. And Abrahams are going to have to try to defend. They are getting surrounded right now, and in comes ABL. Very scary with that sanguine retreat, trying to get better positioning to just eliminate everybody. Taz escaping, trying to escape. And in the meantime, everyone else on Buff and Joyous has been murdered.
This is mid-boss though, right? Surely this is mid-boss. Actually, there's no Nostra, but I think they have the damage either way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are smashing it right now. Yeah, it's looking really good.
Turn in 2.
Yeah, that'll be something, I suppose. But yeah, huge dub there for Buff and Joyous. Right, I mean, for Abrahams, what am I saying? What am I saying? Dude, Overkim needs like a pre-seed investment because he hasn't even gotten going yet. That's like, he is really, like, I feel so bad for Overkim right now. This is such a rough game.
Low econ build for Haze. I think he has slowing hex. The urn will be picked up and secured by who? So at least some extra souls for Buff and Joyous. But if any fight breaks off the back of this, it still could be dangerous. Gonna respawn back in. That's 1 rejuve credit now gone. And it didn't really cost too much out of Buff and Joyous to get that either.
Yeah, Abrahams have such forward positioning around this urn now as well. So they are going to pick this one up, and they can force the fight over at the deposit spot, which is actually exactly what they want right now. this is such an ideal scenario. You want to use those rejuves. You can, if you force this fight, if you don't force the fight, you just get a free earn turn in, and then you can still go to the walkers. So it almost feels like buff and joys are definitely encouraged to take this one, Jason.
Yeah, I would pull the Xeno here for ABL. Look for the 1v1 at the walker. And then get it. You can see him on the left side of the mini-map. Really no one on buff and joy is here to contest this earn turn in. So Abrahams doesn't really know this just yet. And instead, Abe going to join the fight. So he's not going to go for the split push. Obi can get some much needed farm in the mid lane. And the lasso is going to hit onto Zergy and maybe can escape from this, but it's going to be very difficult. The Nox Nostra on top is to silence him out. And the Death Slam, I think, only catches on to one.
Yeah, massive fight for buff and joyers. You know, they did lose Zergy already, so it's definitely a problem. And the damage output from the Mina now from AVL is so oppressive. They're doing everything they can to try to escape. And Obikim, I mean, Obikim is Obikim is not a threat right now. Let's just put it that way.
And the earn picked up too. 35,000 souls approaching. I cover myself there, doing some really bad quick maths. But there has to be at least one walker being taken. But the way they're positioned right now for Abrahams, there should be two.
Yeah, they're working on it. They have a nice soul discrepancy as well. Big advantage there, so they can, as EP likes to say, stat check all of these opponents who try to defend. Both walkers looking to go down simultaneously. And still one rejuve is available. So that is enforcing that buff still across the team, although there it goes. Together gets reincarnated. And that might actually turn into more kills here for the Abrahams team.
Oh, and he hooks him at a seismic slam. Not letting him do anything here. You can see Tass under a lot of pressure, being forced to back away. The rest of his team here in quick support. Hoot going to be overextended. Shark already low on HP. Demon's able to get a kill on a jam side with no rejuve up anymore. No health bars really for the side of buff enjoyers. It really could go anyone's way here. As Sasha's trying to make this impact. Another hook comes through, making Listic's life extremely difficult. But this is still an insanely close fight, actually. Like, Listic is just not dying here, Dan.
Yeah, it's been so utterly annoying. It's just so irritating that there is just hooks for days for Listic. Like he's on some kind of like bungee rope or something like that. Just always getting pulled back in. Amina actually getting caught, but unable to find a finish, unfortunately, for buff enjoyers. It was a good effort, though. All things considered, the fact that there was a rejuve still up, they still managed to do a lot of damage, get a lot of kills. But of course, the reincarnations certainly make life feel a lot worse. So base Guardians go down, but it doesn't look like they're going for anything else here, Jason. So to be honest, that is a win, and it does buy Abrahams, or rather, it does buy buff enjoyers some time.
I mean, time. How much time is going to be the question. ABL at 34,000 souls. Spirit Burn just picked up two. Crippling headshot for Tass. You know, looking at this game as well, Saint hasn't really done much. I haven't seen any big death slams. I've seen like maybe like one, maybe two-man death slams. Oh, I'm not calling him out. It's because he hasn't really needed to. I think Tass has been hitting some really good hooks. Saf has had some really good lassos. That double threat out of Abrahams is really hard to deal with for buff enjoyers, especially when you have so many players so far behind in souls, and it feels like it's only getting worse.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. It's one way to describe a 42k soul deficit. Is challenging. What's your favorite type of challenge, Jason?
Like any type of challenge?
Yeah.
I think Iron Man challenge is pretty cool, pretty sick.
No Nut November.
I mean, I just do that all year long. Ain't nothing special about November.
He's celibate. Heard it here first.
Involuntarily.
Hey, I didn't say it was voluntary, Dan.
Well, another fight is brewing here all around the bridge. Buff and Abraham's obviously massive soul advantage are cleaning up.
Yeah, this is just the downward trend here. I think we're gonna have a new champion. I think things are gonna equalize here, Puckett. I think we're gonna have 3 apiece as we finish off the EU portion of the night shift. Really nothing buff enjoyers can do about this. If Shark dies that quickly in the goo ball form, and you know there's no chance for buff enjoyers, it's just a matter of time for Abrahams close this out and retake the throne once again here, Dan. And honestly, I feel like the way they played, they sure as hell deserved it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, really, really awesome to see how good both of these teams are. It was such a. It's interesting because the early game mattered so much in all three matches. If we look back to them, and it seems almost obvious to say, but I feel like there was a time in Deadlock with amongst these top teams where the early game was a little bit less impactful, or it was a little bit more even, I should say. One of the two. I'm not really sure exactly which one, but you get the same feeling.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because we would see multiple times, like way back in the day, where like Buff Enjoyers up against Paravision, and Paravision would slaughter Buff Enjoyers in the very beginning, but Buff Enjoyers would still win the game because they had a better mid game. I think the teams are just getting so much closer, at least in EU, that once you take that early game lead, teams know how to finish it and know how to like take into the mid game properly, take into late game properly, and finish a game. I think they've learned a lot, and the skill level across the board in both regions, to be fair, has massively leveled up. Oh, that knocks off. You can hear it over at the mid boss. Plus with Spirit Burn, has no cooldown.
That Mina's pretty good.
Pretty hot, yeah. Just hot right now.
Yeah, Mina's really, really good for sure. I think you definitely need to be able to, as ABL did in this game, you do need to be a bit ahead to hit the power spikes to really make it very valuable. But ABL was able to do that. ABL was able to do that, and
I think it's like twofold. I think it's because like Obikim and Listic and Dimov and Hoot are so far behind, and Sharik, that it makes it easier to play Mina as well, considering you have such a low HP pool. You have like 2,400 health at the moment for ABL. Like even Dimov there had like 2,800 for ABL, but he's also so far ahead in items. It's very difficult to play from behind with Mina, but playing from ahead, yeah, I think it's so much easier.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you win that lane, that Mina lane. You really do.
And is everyone buying the Veil Walker at this point?
Right? It's the new hotness, man.
It's really good. It's so good. It's so multi-purpose to get to. I mean, there's so many Veils as well in the map. Well, there we go. There's that Nox Nostra on the mid boss.
Wait. He sold his Spirit Burn.
Oh, really?
What did he pick up for instead? The cooldown? Oh, never mind. There it is. Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, it was just a bug.
I was like, wait, what just happened? But we do see the Dust Slam come through. No chance to steal away one of these rejuve credits.
Alpha.
And it's going to happen. Abrahams are going to close this one out.
Close the door.
There we go. The mad dash back into the base to claim what's theirs. $1,000. But more importantly, the prestige. The knowledge that you are better at a video game.
Are we going to see the BM pause right before they win, though, like last week? That's my question.
Right? Let's have a little chat, shall we? No BM today. They finished strong immediately. The disconnects as we celebrate here on the night shift. The first score is in the books. It goes to the Abrahams as they will now take their third week here in week 6, splitting it perfectly 3-3. There's two teams clearly on top of EU, and it just depends on which week who is going to wear the crown. It comes down to some big decisions, though, and you guys have some tough ones to make because I'm seeing our observers want to know who you think had an MVP performance. In a team game, it's hard to pick it out, but the chat was just all talking about ABL. Taz seemed to have a huge impact with the hooks as well, but what did you see, DDK? Was it a clear MVP in your eyes?
Clear one. I mean, I'm going to give it to ABL, I think, because, yeah, if you think about that pocket performance as well in the first map, as well as the Mina performance here, and it's not easy at this level to, I think, do so well with the Mina. Like, it's easy to stomp people in the pubs, but getting ahead against these players is tough. So, okay, giving it to ABL. Why not?
Kaplan, what was the difference team-wise between Buff Enjoyers and Abrahams tonight?
Team-wise, that's such a deep question, Puckett. I think...
Open doors sometimes. Walk through whichever one you want.
Are you going to doorman? Is that your cosplay, a doorman? You got the blue eyes.
Yeah, I don't leave the hotel once I go in, though. You know what I mean?
You know, I think Abrahams did such a good job of keeping so many players behind on Buff Enjoyer's side in both games. It was Listic in game 1. It was Listic Obikim in game 2. They really had zero impact. They couldn't be a frontline. They couldn't facilitate these ganks. Like, think of where Hayes has the most power, the mid game. Where was Obicam powerful? None of the game. And I think that was like one of the key factors to allowing Abraham to win and allowing ABL to get so far ahead, was just keeping those like two so far behind that they really never got going and never really became a threat in this game.
DDK, as I'm taking a look at some of the early game, was it a mistake not putting Dimov on the Viscus? That is the character he's won multiple MVP awards on.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the performances I did see from Sharik on map 2 for sure were really, really high level too. So I'm sure that they have a good reason for it, and he's got. I just have to trust that they are making the best choice to win. So I feel like I support that decision.
I like this call out. All right, the Mina was the star of the show in the game 3, led by ABL. And of course, we saw it was a team victory that took nearly 30 minutes. Walk me through the best moments here. What do you love?
Kind of all of it. I mean, even beginning the laning phase, seeing just Taz, like, it was entertaining the entire way through. Like seeing Taz hit a lot of these hooks, Saf as well. And whether it was a lasso or a hook, something was coming your way and it was looking for kills, and Buff and Joyce didn't seem to have an answer for it. I think it's partially due to just the way Abrahams were playing. Obviously the Veil Walkers help a ton when it comes to this. I feel like we never even talked about Together this entire game, or really the Jam side, to be fair, in this match.
Together won the MVP award in the last win for the Abrahams. He did it playing the Yamato tonight on the Billy, dropping 26 assists. If you're looking for kills, those belong to ABL. 13. That's the same amount his opposing team dropped. Incredible performance from our MVP from week number 4. Other big numbers or other builds you want to call out on this sheet here, guys? It's hard for the people on mobile to see some of the details.
Buff Enjoyers having 1, 2, 3, 4 slowing hexes and a silence wave. Like, they really wanted to prevent anyone from escaping them. Like, for instance, Saint has no way of escaping if you get them caught. But they never really had the opportunity to make those effective. Like, Dimov wasn't really able to get any of these swaps in to allow and facilitate any of these kills down.
Yeah, definitely. And they just felt, it seemed like the early game was too lacking this time. I mean, we already talked about that, but yeah, I think it's interesting. This ultimately comes down to obviously how well you can draft and how well you can construct those early game lanes now, and that's something that has been evolving over the course of all of the broadcasts, because all the players are so good, and so you have to be able to figure out how do you enable which one. And I also have to wonder, are we going to get Veil Walker nerfed? Because I feel like last time we had to advise this, like,
about to have 12 of them in game.
We had 6 in this game. Like, that's insane already.
ABL
people
making use of his 41,000 souls, 13 kills, 1 death, 16 assists. The man dropped the most player damage in the lobby. He looked pretty good doing it as well. You want to see his highlights? We have a fantastic team behind the scenes collecting all of the replays, and we are up over 655 subscribers that are supporting the in-game play that you just witnessed. It's ABL. He did it on the Pocket. He did it on the Mina. What was more impressive, DDK?
Ooh, I feel like I want to say Pocket, because I think Pocket is just a higher skill ceiling hero, in my opinion. And so Pocket play, like really excellent Pocket play, is always going to be the most impressive to me, I think. So yeah, I'm going to pick Pocket for sure.
There's so much more skill expression on a Pocket, I'd say, than a Mina.
Yeah.
Like, your movement is so important on a Pocket. Getting around the map, farming up as much jungle as you can, but also like timing your abilities, knowing when you're safe to go in and out. Mina, I mean, you see mostly just in like the mid lines, not necessarily the front or back lines, just left clicking, using Nox Nostra once in a while. But Pocket takes a completely different skill set to pull off in these kind of lobbies, I'd say.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, close your eyes, because in 3, 2, 1, we're about to witness the Obi Kim and Sharik montage. It's their kill montage. Oh wait, there's no footage from game 3. Thank you for that one, chat. It's mean. Is this something we expect to see amongst the top teams? Jason Kaplan, is it embarrassing to get a donut in a MOBA? There's a lot of shooter fans here in the building who are like, oh my God, they didn't even get a single kill.
No, I don't think it's embarrassing whatsoever, especially in these high level games. They know how to stay ahead whenever you fall behind. And I always guarantee you, every single person in chat has had a game where they got 0 kills and got completely smashed and wanted to rage quit, but didn't, because they don't do that, right? Right, chat?
That it's true. No one rage quits here. We are all quality human beings, and we all support Deadlock. Thank you for being here tonight, because we have one of the greats on the mic right now. He's a champion with $1,000 more in his team's pockets. He goes by the name of Saf. Saf, welcome to the show. How we doing?
Hello, feeling good.
You sound great. Can we talk a little bit about the matchup? Why has it gone back and forth the last 4 weeks? Seems like we always have a new champion on the show.
I mean, nowadays when people starting understanding what to do in the games, it feels like draft do a lot. It's based on the draft. Usually, you can win with you can win with bad draft, but it's super hard.
Got it. TDK, go ahead.
As a follow-up to that question, do you feel like it's easy to get balanced drafts, or is it kind of hard if one team starts to take a lead in the drafting phase? Do you feel like there's not enough heroes right now, or how do you feel about it?
I think it's enough right now. It's kind of you need to understand your team strength and strength. What's the best for your team? What's heroes? And if you know, not every hero is gonna work on your team. In second game, we picked Yamata that we didn't really practice, and we kind of felt lost. So it's pretty hard to draft, but if you know your best heroes, if you do it correctly, you will win draft, and after that you will win a game.
Well, then talk to me about your draft and the strengths you're drafting around, because it seems to be you draft around together on Shiv with Saint on Kelvin, or from what I'm seeing, you're drafting kind of around ABL. Is that true, or is there other strengths within the team that you're drafting around?
I mean, yeah, we usually try to get good heroes for our main farmers kinda, and just last pick for me, because I have a lot of heroes to play. I will always find a good hero. Like in last game, this holiday last pick went really good. So we just kind of looking to get core most broken heroes in the patch first.
Fair enough.
Can you give me the list? What are the top 3 most broken heroes in the current patch that I could abuse to rank up?
Gun Ivy is top 1 hero to win every game.
Okay. We saw that in the games a lot tonight. Who do you have else in the top 3?
Maybe for public, it's Gandorman. It's kind of broken right now, but I couldn't perform well in these matches. I played 2 games. Ivy could be really good.
Great call outs there. Well, Saf, I wanted to ask, as we have more people tuning in every single week, there's more excitement around Deadlock. What is your favorite part of this game? For anyone who hasn't touched the alpha yet, why do they need to get their hands on this alpha?
I mean, this game is pretty hard to start playing, but if you are really interested in it, you will just be... it's gonna be really fun, because it's so many new things that you're gonna find something new in every game, basically. First maybe 50 to 100 hours, you will find something new in every game, and you'll for sure have fun. But at the start, it's gonna be rough to play. But if you keep the process, you will have a lot of fun.
Battle through the learning curve, ladies and gentlemen. It is worth it if you ask Saf. Saf, final question. As a player, you said that you don't get your ideal characters. You kind of are the man that's picking up the scraps for the team, doing what it takes to get the dub. What do you think is your strongest aspect of a player?
I mean, I have a really huge pool of heroes and good macro I call for my team, and probably just this. And I have also decent mechanic. Yeah.
Decent. I'd say probably above average. One of the best in the world, my friend. Congrats on the win tonight. Your team banks another $1,000 thanks to Intel, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
That is
Bye.
Saf, our winners from the Abrahams, as they take it against Buff Enjoyers. It was a 2-1. They took the first game. Then you saw ABL bust out the Mina and shut the door in a game number 3. Buff Enjoyers, no chance in the comeback. We've had a new crown going back and forth. It's been so fun to watch. And with 3 wins each, we'll have a new leader here guaranteed for EU if they match up again as expected on week 7. As we take a look at North America, though, we're just getting started, DDK. The Baroness Hotel in DMB about to take on Mott's Fan Club, aka Matt with a Kermit and a Thanos glove.
I mean, love it. What's not to like? I think the NA matches bring a completely different vibe to the EU show, and it's always a lot of fun. And I feel like things are getting more competitive now. So it's I feel like the scene is really picking up, which is what we love to see. And maybe we're gonna have something like the EU soon, where you don't know who's gonna win the finals. It's not gonna be Hydra Nation every day.
Much love to all the streamers. We have Apply, one of my favorite pro players turned streamer, in the chat right now. If you want to watch our streams and share it with your community, we welcome the watch parties, and Jason Kaplan welcomes you in to every single broadcast. Kaplan, final thoughts from EU tonight.
Man, it is great to see, again, such tough competition when it comes to the top teams in EU, but I'm really hoping and wishing one day we have a deeper pool of teams in EU, because it used to be all about EU being the best region, but man, NA is the closest region by far.
Maybe we need to start having like welterweight matches before the heavyweight fight, you know, bring in 2 teams that are on equal footing, because I feel like when we put the newer teams against the juggernauts, it's not so much fun for anyone involved. We'll keep getting weird here on the show. Let us know your ideas. It's community funded, community ran, with your favorite casters from esports history, and we're bringing you the second half of the show after this.